Buenos días, señor. ¿Es usted Maldonado Hernández?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. And so, sir, just now that I just asked you that, could you please tell me your full name?
Bueno,
Adrián
ya que
Martín,
confirmamos eso, señor, espere que el intérprete, ¿sí? Ya que confirmamos su nombre, dígame su nombre en voz alta en español, por favor.
Adrián Martín Maldonado Hernández.
All right.
Adrián Martín Maldonado Hernández.
Thank
Yes.
you. So
Gracias.
sir, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of aggravated domestic violence and aggravated harassment as an act of domestic violence.
Entonces, señor, está aquí para su comparecencia inicial bajo cargos de agresión con agravantes, violencia doméstica y agresión con violencia doméstica.
And sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this matter can be used against you.
Tiene usted derecho a guardar silencio. Cualquier cosa que diga usted sobre esta causa podrá ser usada en contra suya.
You have the right to be represented by an attorney at all proceedings. I'm appointing the legal defender to represent you, sir.
Tiene usted derecho a tener representación de abogado en todos los procedimientos de su caso. Voy a asignar a los abogados de oficio del defensor legal del condado para que se encargue de su defensa.
And Mr. Smith, seated to your left, is going to be the attorney helping you this morning.
El señor Smith, el abogado sentado al lado izquierdo suyo, es el abogado designado para el día de hoy para aconsejarle como sea necesario esta mañana.
In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information in pretrial services, and the state's recommendation.
Ahora, para preparar la audiencia de hoy, ya leí el informe inicial de la Agencia de los Servicios Previos al Juicio, la querella inicial, la recomendación del fiscal, tanto como la recomendación de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio.
And the state is recommending a $7,500 bond plus release to pretrial services if that is posted.
La Fiscalía recomienda fianza de $7,500 y ya después, si logra depositar la fianza y sale libre, para que sea supervisado por la Agencia de los Servicios Previos al Juicio, Pretrial Services.
Anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Your Honor.
Algo más, Poston, el señor fiscal dice que no tiene más que comentar.
Okay, and Mr. Smith?
Your Honor, while this is aggravated domestic violence, making it a felony, the actions done were misdemeanor behavior. He's got no felony priors. With that in mind, I'd ask that he be released to pretrial services. If a bond does need to be in place, I'd ask that it be no more than $2,500, Your Honor.
Señor juez, aunque estos casos resultan de agresión con agravantes de violencia doméstica registrado como delito grave, el señor no tiene antecedentes penales y es más, las acciones resultan de veras de conductas por delitos menores. La falta de antecedentes indica que podría usted dejarlo salir libre bajo la supervisión de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio, pero si insiste en imponer la fianza, pedimos que sea no más de $2,500.
Thank you. I am going to set a bond in the amount of $5,000 cash or secured.
Pues bien, voy a ponerle fianza de $5,000, ya sea en dinero en efectivo o garantizado por propiedad.
Given that the same victim in the misdemeanor cases that he's on probation for is the same victim in the new case.
En vista de que la víctima por cual está castigado con libertad condicional por violencia doméstica es la misma víctima, en este caso registrado como delito mayor.
Mr. Maldonado Hernandez, if you post that bond and find yourself out of custody, I'm ordering you to possess no firearms or weapons.
Ahora, señor Maldonado Hernández, si logra salir bajo fianza, le ordeno que no cometa actos de acciones de violencia doméstica y también se le prohíbe posesión de armas de fuego o armas de cualquier tipo.
Possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs and commit no further acts of domestic violence.
También se le prohíbe posesión o consumo de licor o sustancias ilícitas y de no cometer actos adicionales de violencia doméstica.
And to have no contact with the alleged victim and do not go to the have no contact with the alleged victim and do not go to the victim's residence.
También se le prohíbe contacto con la víctima que se alega y de no regresar a donde vive ella.
Sir, your next hearing is a preliminary hearing on November 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Ahora, la próxima audiencia en su caso, señor, se programa para el día 24 de noviembre a la 1:30 por la tarde. Es una audiencia preliminar.
Please stay in contact with your attorney because they will have more information on what may happen next.
Haga favor de seguir en contacto y comunicación con el abogado que se le designe, porque ellos tendrán más información de lo que procederá después.
One last thing, sir. You must show up for any future court dates or a warrant will issue for your arrest, sir. Thank you. You are excused.
Último punto, señor, debe usted presentarse en cada audiencia que se programe su caso. De no ser así, se ordena su detención. Es todo por hoy. Gracias. Puede retirarse.
Y va a tener una corte. Yo creo que sí.
Your Honor, the interpreter, the interpreter receives that is.
Yes, I just want to check in the jail. That's it for Spanish speakers at the jail, right? That's correct.
As far as we know, yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. Have a good day.
Thank you. You as well.
See him? On down. Cheers.
Good morning, sir.
Bueno,
Please tell me your name.
Brandon Murillo García.
Sia, I am seeing you on a review hearing on a warrant. Well, it's actually a probation hold out of, let's see, I believe it's Gila County. And so what I'm going to do, sir, is I'm setting a review hearing just to see where things are at about you potentially being transported back to the demanding jurisdiction. And so we're going to set that review hearing for December 15th, 9 o'clock in the morning. And you'll be seen much the same as you're being seen here, sir, if you're still in custody at the jail. So we set these review hearings, as you may know, just to make sure that that Gila County has in fact gotten you, so that it doesn't just fall through the cracks. So hopefully between now and December 15th, you are picked up by them, but we will see what happens. Okay. Have a good day, sir.
I do. I haven't observed and I haven't been able to reach them. I haven't just. Okay, in the probation because I'm not sentenced.
And good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Please tell me your name.
Xavier Grant, 82088.
Thank you. And so, Mr. Grant, I'm seeing you on a review hearing on a fugitive warrant matter. It's out of Maricopa County. Essentially, we set these review hearings, sir, just to ensure that Maricopa County does pick you up when you are capable of being picked up. You do have some local matters too, I believe. So because of that, it's just we set these hearings to help coordinate you staying in Pima County as long as you need to stay here, and then being taken to Maricopa County once things here conclude. So I'm going to set your next review hearing, sir, on December 15th, 9 o'clock in the morning. That's just kind of a checkup to see where things are at on the local charges. And if the local charges have concluded, hopefully you will have been picked up by Maricopa County by then. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
William Ritchie.
All right, Mr. Ritchie, we're here for a review hearing on your matter. It looks like you have a warrant out of Pinal County, and so we are holding you here at least temporarily so that you can get local charges in Pima County resolved. And so we set these review hearings just to make sure that things are progressing here locally on whatever needs to happen locally before you get picked up by Pinal County. So what I'm going to do, sir, is set a review hearing for you. It's on December 15th at 9 o'clock in the morning. You'll be seeing very similar to what we're doing right now on video from the jail, assuming that you have not been picked up by Pinal County by then. If your local charges wrap up and you're good to go back to Pinal, you will probably not have that hearing because you'll be up there. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
Well, I'm only here on a probation violation.
Okay, then my apologies for suggesting you had local charges. If you don't have local charges, sir, then that should mean that you're going to be picked up by Pinal County relatively quickly. So what I show is one, just a moment. One moment. Okay, so it looks like you have a probation matter that you may be, so no new charges. I misstated
No.
that. You have what
Yes, sir.
appears to be a probation matter out of Pima County that's acting as the hold, sir. So nothing new here locally, but it sounds like that probation matter here locally is what is keeping you from going to Pinal just right now. But you know, if that gets resolved in the near future, then you should be up to Pinal probably before that December 15th date. Does that make sense, sir?
Yes. Well, I should be being reinstated on
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have a disposition hearing, so what would happen then, sir? If you've already made an admission or otherwise, you know, worked your way towards potential reinstatement, you would have that
Yes.
hearing here probably before December 15th, and then you would be, the hold would be lifted here locally, and then you would be able to be transported back to Pinal to deal with whatever you have going on up there. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You go back to 6. Yeah, so it's gonna be misdemeanors popping up, right? Have a seat on it. You know, it's section or second. Crazy. Somebody. Always before the tension. Was that? Always before the temperatures around here. Okay, 6. Okay. Oh, man, who's back?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please tell me your full name?
Manuel Carrasco.
All right.
C.A.
Yeah, Carrasco. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so sir, this is your initial appearance. You have one charge that you're being seen on this morning. It is one count of disorderly conduct fighting, alleged to be an act of domestic violence. You, sir, have the right to remain silent as it relates to anything having to do with this case. Anything you say about this case can be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I am going to appoint one for you. And give me just a moment.
Sir, can I say something?
You probably want to talk to the attorney seated to your left first, because everything that you say is being recorded and can be used
okay.
against you.
Okay. All right. So he'll appoint me an attorney like a public.
Yes, sir. I'm appointing an attorney for you. Her name is Janet Altschuler, and so she's going to help you out as this case plays out, sir. So,
Okay.
and so in order to prepare for this morning's initial appearance, I did review some of the information that I have, namely a Form 4C that was received in conjunction with this case. So, sir, I'm going to be holding you on a $500 cash or secured bond. And so what that means, sir, is that if you're able to post that bond, you'll be out of custody. But your next court date is going to be a pre-trial hearing on November 14th. So that's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. You're going to get paperwork that says all this, sir. So
Okay.
that you should have it down for you. If you're still in custody, sir, that hearing is going to be a pre-trial tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And yeah, so that's the hearing, 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Pima County Justice Court downtown. Sir, if you are out of custody, I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, you commit no acts of domestic violence, and you have no contact with the alleged victim, Alma Carrasco, and that includes not going back to the victim's residence or place of work. So let me ask you something, sir. I'm assuming that's a shared residence. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so what I'm going to allow you to do, sir, is that you may return to the residence with a police escort to pick up any belongings that you may need to get. But for the time being, sir, you're not going to be able to go back to the residence outside of that. So there's a process for having a police escort go with you. And so the jail may have a little more information on that if you contact the sheriff's department or whatever law enforcement agency is most appropriate for the part of town that you live in, probably the sheriff's department, since this is the justice.
Yeah.
Give them a
Right.
call and they can assist you with that, sir. Okay.
So even if because I knew you were gonna tell me that, but my wife's at work right now. My grandson's at school. There's nobody at the house. If I go over there in the lift, can I pick up some clothes before she gets home?
Yes, unfortunately, yes. So you would need to do it with the escort. I would imagine that the law enforcement escort can be arranged relatively quickly.
Okay.
But I can't promise you that. So it's just important that you do it with an escort, sir. I don't think that that should be too much of a hassle. So please just go about it that way, because that's just what I'm ordering. Okay.
Okay. With the police escort.
Yes, sir. And you're going to get paperwork that has all these conditions on it, but have a good rest of your day, sir. That takes care of it. One last thing before I let you go, sir, is that please show up to that next court date. If you do not show up to justice court, then it's likely, if not, it's very likely that you're going to have a warrant issued for your arrest, sir. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And that court date is tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And so that's whether you're in or out of custody. If you're out of custody, come down for it anyways. And so also one other thing that'll be on the paperwork that you get is the name and phone number for Miss Altschuler, your attorney. So give her a call and she can, answer more of your questions, sir. Okay.
Okay. And then you're saying I have to post the bail for today?
Yeah, well, it's $500 cash or secured. So what that means is that you'd have to put up, either $500 cash or $500 secured. And the jail may have more information on the logistics of doing that. You can actually do that at the jail, but that's
Okay.
about all I can say about that today, sir.
Yeah, I think I could cover the 500 today.
Then you just get to appear in person.
Then I
Right.
just appear in person tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'll go ahead and I might have to call the bank and transfer some money.
That's fine, sir. I mean,
Okay.
there are going to be some logistics, but we can't use up court time to talk about that. I do wish you luck, though, on figuring that out. Okay.
And thank you. And one more thing, Judge, how long am I gonna be not able to go to that residence?
Order from now. It's something that Ms. Altschuler could potentially raise with the judge in justice court to have that changed or lifted. But for today's sake, that's the court's order. So,
Okay.
so that's what I'm ordering for today. So I don't have an answer for you. It could be short or it could be longer.
Okay.
All right. Have a good
All right.
day. Take care.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Judge. You too.
Yeah. Come with me.
Okay. Okay, so I gotta go pay $500. Is that money refundable?
Sure. Please tell me.
Angel Flores III.
All right, Mr. Flores, I have got a variety of matters to speak with you about. So first of all, sir, this is your initial appearance. You are being seen on new charges out of Pima County Justice Court that relate to possession of drug paraphernalia alleged to have occurred yesterday around 5 p.m. I've also got a few city court files, and these allege failures to appear concerning criminal trespass, possession of drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass, possession of drug paraphernalia, things of that sort. So let me start with a misdemeanor, sir. Sorry, the new misdemeanor, the justice court case. And let me advise you, first of all, that as it relates to all of these matters, you have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about any of these cases can be used against you. And so as it relates to the justice court matter, sir, I am going to, just a moment. I'm going to hold you on a bond of $250 as it relates to that case, sir. And so that's going to be a cash or secured bond. Part of the reason is that it appears that you've had previous problems complying with pretrial services release. And additionally, you have a variety of different matters in multiple different courthouses. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going to appoint a contract attorney to represent you, sir, on that case. Her name is Janet Altschuler. And she will be able to help you out with this case. Just a moment. And so your next hearing, sir, is going to be tomorrow. That's tomorrow, Friday, November 14th. It's going to be 1 p.m. in the afternoon in Pima County Justice Court downtown. And so, sir, if you find yourself out of custody, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're going to have the name of your attorney that is going to be on the paperwork that you get for that case, sir. And then okay, so that takes care of that. And then as to the city court matter, sir, again, these are older charges that multiple older cases that relate to multiple failures to appear. I'm going to hold you on a bond of $250 on those cases as well. It's going to be one bond for all of those city court cases. So, and it looks like there's a total of 3 of them, sir. Actually, 4 of them, excuse me. So on that, again, as I said, that's going to be a $250 cash or secured bond on the city court matters. I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, sir. Again, you're going to get paperwork that spells all of this out. Your next hearing on the city court matters is going to be a video review hearing. That's going to be on the 21st. So next Friday, 1:45 in the afternoon. It looks like that's going to be in front of Judge Bond. And so as it relates to those, sir, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages, $250 cash or secured bond. I'm noting the other hold that you have on the JP court matter. And again, you're going to get paperwork that explains all of this, sir. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Have a good rest of your day.
Hola. All we have to part of that side.
Yes, sir.
Morning.
Can you tell me your name?
Andres Valenzuela. Andres V. Valenzuela.
All right. Just a moment, sir. Mr. Valenzuela, I'm seeing you on a new charge that alleges that you committed disorderly conduct alleged to be an act of domestic violence. And that new charge is alleged to have occurred last night about 9:40 in the evening. You have the right to remain silent, sir, as it relates to anything relating to this matter. And so just a moment. Okay, sir, if I release you on this matter, are you willing to follow certain specific conditions that I'm about to tell you about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the biggest condition of all is that you're to have no contact with the alleged victim during the pendency of this case. Do you understand?
Yes, who's the victim?
It is alleged to be Lorena Valenzuela, who is your mother, as I understand it.
Oh yeah. She okay.
And so please do not have any contact with her, and then do not go back to the victim's residence or place of work if she is still working. And so that's the court's order, sir. Are you willing to follow those orders?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm also going to order, sir, that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and commit no further acts of domestic violence, sir. And so, given that you're telling me that you're willing to follow these conditions, I'm going to set your next hearing for November 24th. That's Monday, November 24th. And that's going to be in Pima County Justice Court downtown. It's at 10:30 in the morning. And so please come back to your next court date at that time, sir, because if you don't do that, then a warrant will almost certainly issue for your arrest, and you will probably find yourself back in custody, sir. Do you understand?
Yeah. No worries. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be in court.
Okay. It's at Justice Court. So it is downtown, but it's the newer of the two courthouses, the two municipal courthouses downtown, 240 North Stone. You're going to get paperwork that has this information on it, sir. Okay.
10:30, you say, right?
Yeah, 10:30 on the 24th. That's a Monday, but you'll get paperwork with all this info. Okay.
All right.
All right. Have a good day. You got it.
So I gotta read.
Hola, Tata. Yes, Susan.
Morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Eric Villasuda.
All right. I'm seeing you on a couple matters, sir, out of Justice Court. Give me just a moment. Okay, so let me just a second here. Looks like one of the matters is a new case, sir. The other is a warrant. And so, yes, that's correct. So both of the cases allege that you committed acts of domestic violence. The earlier of the two cases alleges that you committed disorderly conduct, and criminal damage, both alleged to be acts of domestic violence on February 11th, but that you, well, there's a warrant for it. So that's the first one. The newer of the two is alleged to have happened last night around 7 p.m., actually 8 p.m. And so in order to prepare for this, sir, I've reviewed the information included in a Form 4C response provided by the victim. I have also taken a look just at the general facts of what is alleged. If I release you, sir, are you willing to follow certain specific conditions that I'm about to tell you about?
Yes, Your Honor.
So perhaps above all, I need you to not have any contact with the alleged victims.
Yes, sir.
Give me just a second. Okay, I take that back. It looks like the victim is okay with continued contact. And in light of that and the absence of other big red flags, I'm willing to allow contact, sir. But you are ordered not to have any further acts of domestic violence, not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs while this case is pending, sir. And you need to come back to court. Your next hearing is going to be a court date in front of Judge Pesquiera. That's going to be on December 11th. Bless you, at 1:30 in the afternoon in Pima County Justice Court. So both of your cases in the same courthouse downtown. And so that takes care of the first one. And then let me get to the second one real quick. Same story on that, sir. I'm going to release you with a condition that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. Next court date is that's actually going to be an arraignment, sir. So you have same courthouse, but 2 different court dates. That arraignment's going to be on November 24th at 10:30 in the morning. So that's a Monday, 10:30 in the morning. You're going to get paperwork that explains all of this, sir. So please come back to court. If you don't do so, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning. Could you please tell me your name?
Sally Ann means Parbal.
So, Ms. Carbajal, I am seeing you on new charges that allege that you committed an act of assault, alleged to be an act of domestic violence. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. I am, just a second, also noting that you appear to be 3 matters out of Phoenix Municipal Court, all alleged to be acts of domestic violence as well. So give me just a moment. And so, ma'am, what I'm going to do in light of the fact that you appear to have 3 DV matters out of Phoenix Municipal Court and you are alleged to have committed a new act of domestic violence here in Tucson, I'm going to order that you be held on a $750 bond. And for that reason, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, ma'am. It's going to be the city public defender. As you always have a right to have an attorney represent you. And given that I'm holding you, I'm going to appoint one. Additionally, ma'am, if you post that bond, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, who is alleged to be William Shout, and do not go to the victim's residence. Your next hearing, ma'am, is going to be a video review in front of Judge Millian at Tucson City Court on November 19th at 1. And I'm gonna, ma'am, I just need to remind you, you have the right to remain silent. November 19th, 1:30 in the afternoon is your next court date. You're gonna get paperwork that explains all of this. Also, ma'am, this is the time for your arraignment on that new city court charge. I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You are presumed innocent. If you fail to appear at a future hearing on this case, the trial could go forward in your absence. If you're convicted at that trial, cannot be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, and so just one last thing, if you do bond out, ma'am, you find yourself out of custody, important that you come back to court, because if you don't do that, then a warrant will likely issue for your arrest, okay? Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Garcia.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Gabriel Anthony Garcia.
Mr. Garcia, sir, you this is your initial appearance. You've been charged with a new charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. And it also looks like you may have a hold out of Superior Court on a reference of failure to appear on a different matter. I'm not seeing you on that hold today, sir. Just seeing you on the new city court matter that is alleged to have happened yesterday a little before midnight. Sir, as it relates to this case, I'm going to release you on it. However, you're still going to be held and seen on that Superior Court hold. I'm releasing you on the city court matter with the order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, sir. So you are going to have an attorney on the city court case. That's mostly to help coordinate what's going on in city court versus what's going on in Superior Court. I'm going to set your next court date, sir. It's going to be December 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be for a non-transport review. That's if you're still in custody, sir. You're going to get paperwork that has all of this explained and listed to you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
When do I find out about the Superior Court?
You will probably be seen on a hearing in Superior Court on that bench warrant, potentially tomorrow or sometime early next week, I would say, one or the other. Okay, and it looks like there is an amount on that warrant of $5,000. So given that there, as I understand it, there is Just a second. Actually, it looks like the warrant amount, sir, is $2,500 cash or secured. So you'll be seen on any hearing in Superior Court in the near future. It is possible that you could post that bond though, if you have the capability of doing that. Otherwise, just important that you stay in contact with your attorney on the city court case, stay in contact with your attorney on the felony case, because they can help, navigate things as things play out. Okay.
Okay.
One last thing, sir, if you do find yourself out of custody, it's important that you go up to court, because if you don't do that, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Okay. One last thing before I let you go. I'm also going to do your arraignment on the new city court charges, sir. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf on that drug paraphernalia allegation from yesterday. If you fail to appear at future hearings on that court case, those hearings, including trial, can go forward in your absence. And if you're convicted at that trial, sir, can't be sentenced within 90 days of conviction, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Okay, thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
Owen?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Douglas Wayne Owen.
All right. Mr. Owen, this is your initial appearance. You, sir, are charged with 3 new charges. One is use of electronic communications to threaten, basically, threatening or intimidating and disorderly conduct. These are all alleged to be acts of domestic violence. You, sir, have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. In this instance, I'm going to appoint one for you. It's the city public defender, sir. And so you're going to get information on that and your next court dates and so forth on paper, but I'm going to tell you about it right now. So, sir, I'm going to hold you on a $2,000 cash or secured bond as it relates to this case. And your next hearing, sir, is going to be an arraignment in front of Judge Millian at Tucson City Court. And that's going to be, that's going to be on November 19th, which is next Wednesday. And so, sir, if you post bond, find yourself out of custody, I'm ordering that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. You possess no firearms or weapons. You have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, who is Jessica Hendrickson. That you not go back to the victim's residence or the incident location. It's important to note, sir, that no contact also extends to your time in custody. So you may not contact her either directly or by third parties while you're in the jail, no matter how long you're in the jail. And additionally, sir, it looks like you have a probation hold out of Superior Court. I'm not seeing you on that matter today, but you will be seen on that in Superior Court in the near future. So that's all that I have for you, sir, other than to say that if you find yourself out of custody, you must show up to your next court date, sir, because if you fail to do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And also, given that we're talking about new city charges, I'm going to do your arraignment too. This is the time for your arraignment on those 3 new city court charges that I mentioned to you, which, by the way, are alleged to have happened yesterday afternoon about 3:30 in the afternoon. And so I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You are presumed innocent as it relates to these new charges. If you fail to appear at a future hearing in city court on this case, future hearings, including trial, could go forward in your absence. And if you're convicted at that trial and cannot be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all this, sir? Yes. Okay. Have a good day. Oh, sorry. A little- Oh. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
Timothy Zipper.
All right, Mr. Zipperer, this is your initial appearance. You are being seen on 2 new charges that are possession of drug paraphernalia and then a refusal to tell your true name. These are both alleged to have happened a little before 5 a.m. this morning. And so, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case can be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney. However, I'm not going to appoint one on this case at this time because I'm going to release you on this case, sir. However, I must advise you that the information I have, and this, I'm not certain that this is correct or not, so I'm going to ask the jail, is that you may have a felony hold. Does the jail know if Mr. Zipperer has a felony hold?
Has not a county probation violation.
He has an out-of-county probation violation, Your Honor.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much. And so, sir, as I said, I'm going to release you. Your next hearing is going to be on December 11th at 2:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be a pretrial hearing in front of Judge Cranshaw. I am also going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, sir, given that you have that out-of-county matter that's going to be holding you in custody. Sir, if you find yourself out of custody on this case, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages. And so the only thing I have control over is this new city court case. So you're going to be held, given that you have the other matter from out of county. And so, sir, one last thing before we wrap up for today. This is also the time for your arraignment on this new city court charge. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf, sir. You're presumed innocent as it relates to these new charges. If you fail to appear at future hearings on this case, not only could a warrant issue for your arrest, sir, but those hearings, including trial, could go forward in your absence. And if you're convicted at that trial, can't be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand that, sir? Sir?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You are excused. You're going to get paperwork with this info. Did I?
Down step for the consent of the board. White.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
Floyd White.
Good moment, please. Okay, so Mr. White, I am seeing you on a few things. Give me just a moment. So I'm seeing you on a variety of different new charges out of Tucson City Court. So these include charges of criminal trespass in the second degree, possession of a prescription-only drug, criminal trespass in the third degree, another charge of criminal trespass in the second degree, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Sir, these are all alleged to have occurred during different incidents that stretch between November 7th, 2025 to November 12th of 2025. So, sir, as it relates to all of these matters, I'm going to hold you on a $250 cash or secured bond. I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, sir. And I'm going to set your next hearing, which is going to be a video review hearing. That's going to be November 21st, 1:45 in the afternoon. And that's going to be in front of Judge Hale at Tucson City Court. I'm going to give you paperwork that has that information on it. Sir, if you find yourself out of custody, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs. If I haven't said this yet, sir, you do have the right to remain silent as it relates to any of these new cases. Anything you say about the cases. One last thing before I let you go, sir. This is also the time for your arraignment on all of these new city court charges. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You are presumed innocent as it relates to all of these cases, all of these charges. If you fail to appear at future hearings on these cases, not only could a warrant issue for your arrest, sir, but those hearings, including trial, could go forward in your absence. If you're convicted at those trials, sir, could not be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to appeal those convictions. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You release. Start.
Yes.
Turner's legs. What's the last week?
Yes, yes. I believe. He's here, but he don't want us to say, but it's totally not next to say, yeah, ready to be in. Or.
Come on, Karen. They're right there in that brown chair, see where they, about right they gonna be.
Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Please tell me your name.
Anthony. Christopher Turner.
Okay. So, Mr. Turner, I am seeing you on some new matters. Just a moment.
Trying to get some water results I'm doing this for birds. They kept taking our ABC drugs and find bullshit with it.
And sir, so I'm seeing you on new matters that include criminal trespass in the third degree, assault featuring no injury. That's alleged to have happened about 1:45 this morning. Also seeing you on charges of criminal trespass in the third degree and shoplifting, alleged to have happened last night around 9 o'clock in the evening. And then finally, a matter from November 4th, so about a week and a half ago, that alleges criminal trespass in the third degree. As it relates to all of these cases, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. I am going to set a bond in the amount of $2,500, excuse me, $250, excuse me. Sorry, $250, sir. And that's going to be cash or secured. And I'm setting,
Yo,
hold on. The reason, sir, that I'm doing that is that you have a lot of cases in mental health court with Judge Blue, and so I think it's yeah, I'm imposing that hopefully taken care of. Hang on, sir. So I'm appointing an attorney to represent you, sir. It's going to be the city public defender who already represents you on the other matters that you are pending in behavioral health court on. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other cases. So, sir, I'm appointing the city public defender. That bond is going to be $250, cash or secured. Your next hearing is going to be a video review on November 18th at 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Blue. Sir, if you do find yourself out of custody, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages, that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim. You do not go back to the incident location. And so one final thing, sir, before I let you go. This is also the time set for your arraignment on these new
why
matters.
can't we go today and I go to court on the 18th? I'll show back up on the 18th.
Sir,
I will.
I'm holding you just because of the sheer number of cases that you have going on in city court. And so this is the time for your arraignment on the new cases that
So how many more months have I taken?
Sure, you may be able to get the bond addressed on the 18th, so that's 5 days from now, which is next Tuesday. So you may be able to have that addressed with the judge then, but for today's sake, I'm going to order that $250 bond. And sir, as it relates to all of these new cases, you're presumed innocent. If you fail to appear at a future hearing on these cases, not only could a warrant issue for your arrest, sir, but
Let me go today. Why?
but trial could go forward in your absence, sir. If you're convicted at those trials and cannot be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to appeal those convictions. So, sir, the reason why I'm not doing it, as I said, is because you have a variety of different cases going on all at once. And so because of that, I'm going to impose that $250 cash or secured bond. If Judge Blue thinks that that was a mistake, he can change that at your hearing on the 18th, sir. And you've got an attorney that has been appointed to represent you that may be able to assist with that as well. Okay, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Sir, for the consent furniture.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Matthew Fitzsimmons.
Okay, so, sir, this is your initial appearance, and just counsel, do you waive reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so, sir, the first thing I want to tell you, very important, is that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Smith is going to help you out. He's seated to your left for today's sake. He's going to help you. But I am appointing the public defender to represent you, sir. And so in order to prepare for this hearing this morning, sir, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I have reviewed the information in the interim complaint. I have also reviewed the state's recommendation that requests that a $250,000 bond, cash or secured, be imposed. Mr. Poston, anything further from you, sir?
Your Honor, simply would like to reinforce the fact that there are some statements, some apparently excited utterances from the defendant that are very concerning and nothing short. There is no bond condition that's going to be enough to prevent this sort of activity if he is released to the community. Thank you.
Mr. Smith, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. He's employed, he has housing, he has no prior felony history. This is the first time that the criminal justice system is involved with him. I would argue that the fact that this case is pending is already enough for him to not conduct any further behavior involving these allegations. With that in mind, I'm not making a recommendation on a specific amount, but I will say a $250,000 bond is effectively a no bond. I think something under $100,000 would be more appropriate, given his lack of criminal history, but it's the court's decision at this point.
Thank you very much. So in light of the information before the court is going to impose a $150,000 cash and secured bond. So, sir, a couple things about that. If you are able to post that $150,000 cash and secured bond, you're going to be released to the supervision of pretrial services. You must comply with any monitoring or treatment that they recommend, sir. I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And additionally, sir, if you do find yourself out of custody, that you do not use the internet. You are not to use the internet at all during the pendency of this case. So I am posing those conditions, sir. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on November 24th, 1:30 in the afternoon. Really important that you stay in contact with your attorney, sir, the public defender, between now and that next hearing, and really throughout the pendency of this case, because they'll be able to give you more information on things that are happening with your case, okay? One last thing that I must advise you, sir, is that if you find yourself out of custody, really important that you come back to any and all court dates, if I haven't already said that yet, because if you don't do that, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody, okay?
Your Honor, can I get clarity on one release condition?
Absolutely.
Is the no use of the internet if he posts bond, or is that effective today?
That is effective today.
Okay. Can I make an argument for it to be if he posts bond?
Yeah.
There are certain resources at the jail that are available through the tablets that he would not, you're effectively not allowing him to participate in that. The internet access is extremely restricted at the jail. The possibility of what he's able to do is not possible at the jail. So it's just limiting him from being able to participate in ways that would be rehabilitative towards him.
Absolutely. You make a really good point. So I'm going to amend that, and it's going to be no use of the internet of Mr. Fitzsimmons post bond. So, Mr. Fitzsimmons, if you find yourself out of custody, that is when the no internet provision kicks in. But while you're at the jail, you're able to use tablets in order to, engage in educational opportunities and so forth. Mr. Smith is correct that there are some good opportunities there. So as long as you're in custody, it's fine. But once you're out, sir, that is not going to be permitted. Okay. All right. And that's a yes. All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
Patterson?
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Azariah Patterson.
All right, Mr. Patterson, I'm seeing you on a couple different matters. First of which is going to be a new felony arrest out of Pima County. And just a moment, sir. So that alleged, and does counsel waive reading as it relates to the allegations on the felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then additionally, sir, I'm seeing you on a couple failures to appear out of Tucson City Courts that relate to charges from one charge from last April, one charge from last May, some criminal trespass charges, sir. So let me start with the felony, and then we'll move on from there. Also, I've forgotten one thing. So you are also being seen on a charge out of Pima County Justice Court alleging a criminal trespass allegation, sir. That is another warrant, sir, for failing to appear. And so, again, starting with the felony, in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, actually, let me back up slightly. So first of all, sir, you have the right to remain silent as it relates to any and all of the allegations that I mentioned. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney, Mr. Smith, seated to your left. It's going to help you out today. However, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, sir. The public defender is going to be appointed on that felony case. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information provided by pretrial services, reviewed the information in the interim complaint, and I reviewed the state's recommendation, which is requesting a $2,500 bond, plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Mr. Poston, anything further, sir? All right, thank you very much. And Mr. Smith.
Your Honor, he's homeless at this time. A $2,500, while on the lower end of what could be for a felony, is still an amount that he's not able to pay. I would ask that it be no more than $1,000, Your Honor.
Well, thank you very much.
Cash or security.
So, Mr. Patterson, sir, I am going to post that $2,500 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, you are going to be released to the supervision of pretrial services. If you are released, sir, you're ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and as I said, submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. One final thing, sir, is that if you do find yourself out of custody, you need to comply with registration requirements, and you must do that within 72 hours of your release, sir. And Mr. Smith or your attorney at the public defender's office can give you a little more detail on exactly what that means, to the extent that you would need some additional information, sir. So I'm including that on your conditions of release. Just a moment. Okay. So that takes care of the felony matter. And so, Mr. Smith, in light of him being held on the felony, would you, what is your position concerning bond on the misdemeanor matters? I would be inclined to not impose bond on the misdemeanor matters, but appoint attorneys on the misdemeanor matters. Is that?
I generally agree. I think it's probably safest to do like a $50 bond, Your Honor, just to make sure he's earning time.
Makes sense to me. I'll do that. So just a moment. Don't need one. Okay, cool. So I'm being told that the city court case won't need a bond is what I'm being told, so I'm not going to do that on that, but I will do it for the justice court case just so that the credit is received as to that justice court failure to appear. And so, sir, on that justice court failure to appear, I'm setting your next hearing. It's going to be a pre-trial hearing, and it's going to be at 1 p.m. tomorrow, the 14th, in front of Judge Miller. So you will probably be seen on video for that, sir. And so on that case, I'm going to impose a $50 cash secured bond. And sir, just need to advise you on that one, that if you do post that bond, it's important that you come to court because if you do not come to court, sir, a new warrant could issue for your arrest. You can find yourself back in custody. So that takes care of that misdemeanor out of justice court. Let me get to the city matter and then we'll be done. So the city matter, I am not going to impose a bond on that case. However, I am going to impose the city, appoint the city public defender on that, sir. And so your next hearing is going to be a non-transport review, and that's going to be on December 19th at 1:45 in the afternoon. You're going to get paperwork with this information, sir.
And Your Honor, what was the preliminary hearing date?
Oh, I'm sorry. I probably didn't say that. It's going to be, let me go back to it in just a moment. The preliminary hearing date is November 24th, 1:30. So November 24th, that's Monday, the 24th, 1:30 in the afternoon for the preliminary hearing. And then on the city matter, the non-transport review, December 19th, 2025, 1:45. And so that takes care of it, sir. I am appointing the city public defender to represent you. And that is all. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day. Actually, no, you've already been arraigned on that, so I'm not going to do another arraignment. That covers it, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
This is everything I was going today. Okay. Thank you.
Morgan?
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Morning, Your Honor. My name is Adam Glenn Morgan.
All right, Mr. Morgan, this is your initial appearance, sir. You are being seen on new charges that allege acts of burglary in the second degree and aggravated harassment alleged to be an act of domestic violence. You, sir, have the right to remain silent as it relates to any and all factors of this case, because anything you say could be used against you, sir. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am appointing the legal defender to represent you, sir. That's the Pima County Legal Defender's Office. And so in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I did review information that was supplied by pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation, which appears to be $10,000 plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. I will also note that there is a probation hold for you, sir, out of Superior Court. So anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
Given the probation hold, Your Honor, I don't think 10,000 is necessary. I think we can go with a lower number. I think $1,000 is probably enough. It's really just to make sure he's earning time.
In just a moment.
So you defend you look at I just release a specific
Okay, so Mr. Morgan, I am going to impose a $5,500 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, and you find yourself out of custody, first of all, it probably doesn't make sense to try and post the bond because of that probation hold. You're going to remain in custody either way for the most part. But if you do find yourself out of custody for some reason, I'm ordering you to possess no firearms or weapons, commit, drink or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no further act of domestic violence. You're to have no contact. You're to have no contact with the alleged victims. Do not go back to the victim's residence and incident location. As I said, I'm appointing the legal defender, sir. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on 1:30 in the afternoon on Monday, November 24th. And so please stay in contact with your attorney because they can provide more information as this plays out, sir. One last thing from me, if you do find yourself out of custody, you do not show back up to your future court date, sir. A warrant will almost certainly issue for your arrest. You'll find yourself back in custody. So really important to stay in contact with your attorney, come back to court, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you. You too, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
So right there, thank you. Hi, we good. The public defender.
For you today, yes.
What am I getting? What am I getting?
That's what today's here about.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Robert Rudy.
Mr. Rudy. So I am seeing you on some new charges, sir, that are alleged to involve aggravated shoplifting. Shoplifting and organized retail theft. I'm also seeing you on a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court for criminal trespass. As it relates to all of these matters, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, sir, on the felony matter. That's going to be the Pima County Public Defender's Office. And so in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation, which is a $7,500 bond plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Mr. Poston, anything further, sir?
Your Honor, given the 6 out of 6, what looks like very minimal, if any, community ties, his history, his record, it's 7,500 is warranted.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Just 1 second, Your Honor.
What?
It is.
What is that?
Given his homeless status, Your Honor, $7,500 is the same as $1 million for him. I know that sounds on the extreme side and a little hyperbolic, but it is honest.
Sure.
With that in mind, I would ask for a $1,000 bond. It's still probably more than he can afford, and it's still likely to hold him in custody the entire case.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Rudy, sir, as it relates to this case, I'm going to impose a $2,500 cash and secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please stay in contact with them if you find yourself out of custody. Your next court date, sir, is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's on Monday, November 24th, 1:30 in the afternoon in Superior Court. I'm sorry, that's actually in Justice Court. My apologies. So, but just stay in contact with your attorney who's at the Public Defender's Office. I am going to order, sir, that you do not return to the incident location, and specifically, do not go back to Old Navy. The allegations reflect that you are alleged to have gone into the Old Navy at the Park Mall repeatedly and taken things from there. So please do not go back to the Old Navy. And so that takes care of that, sir. And let me move on to the Justice Court matter. As to the Justice Court matter, sir, that alleges that you failed to appear on different charges involving criminal trespass in the second degree. My apologies. And so your next hearing on that, sir, is going to be a pre-trial. That's going to be tomorrow at 1 p.m. But let me just... tomorrow at 1 p.m. And that's going to be in Justice Court. So assuming that you're still in custody, sir, you'll be seen by video. And on that case, I am going to impose a $50 bond. It's going to be a cash or secured bond. And I am going to appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you, sir, on that matter, just so that she can help navigate what all you have going on and assist you throughout this case. And so that takes care of it. Other than, again, sir, just to remind you that if you find yourself out of custody, it's really important that you come back to court, sir, because if you don't, a warrant will issue for your arrest and you will almost certainly get arrested again. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
Oh, okay. So what does that mean?
So you got a $2,500
In the middle all the way around to the first seat. Insert.
Cut me down. Cut me down.
Lieutenant, very early. Costa. Yes, come on up. Round shift.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you tell me your name?
Andrew Acosta.
So I'm seeing you on different matters. So first of all, I'm seeing you on new felony charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug and then you possessed drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing you on what appears to be 7 failures to appear on 7 different city court cases out of Tucson City Court. So let me start with the felony, sir, and then we'll move on from there. So as it relates to all of these matters, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about any of these cases could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at all proceedings on this case. And so I'm going to appoint the legal defender to represent you, sir. Mr. Smith is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. And in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I have reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information supplied by pretrial, and the state's recommendation, which is pretrial services and to set a steps hearing as it relates to the new felony arrest. I will say, and I'm assuming that you don't have anything further on that, Mr. Poston.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I will say that the court is inclined to impose a bond, at least on the city court matters. So I don't know where that leaves you, Mr. Smith, as far as a bond for credit and so forth. But given the number of failures to appear, I'll let you talk me out of it or try to. But given the number of failures to appear, I'm inclined to hold Mr. Acosta. So what would you like to tell me?
He would be all right with that, actually.
Okay, Your Honor, the big thing that's been happening with him missing his city court cases is that he hasn't had a stable residence since then. He is telling me that he's able to stay with his father, and he hasn't been able to do that before, but that's something that's different today. If the court's still inclined to pose a bond, I would actually ask that he get a extremely nominal bond on the felony case as well, just so he's earning time in it. I know he's steps eligible. It's just to make sure. But I'd ask that he either fully be released to pretrial services or a $50 bond in the felony case.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Acosta, I am going to hold you on a $1,100 bond. So that's $1,100 bond on the felony case. That's going to be cash or secured. If you post that bond, sir, you are going to be released to the supervision of pretrial services. I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons. You consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You submit to monitoring or treatment as recommended by pretrial services. Additionally, sir, I'm appointing the legal defender if I haven't said that already. Your next court date, sir, is going to, well, your preliminary hearing date is on November 24th. That's Monday, November 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Also, sir, you are eligible for a program called STEPS. And so what that means, sir, is it's a program that is designed for people that may have a substance use disorder. And so what may happen, sir, if you're interested in participating in this program, if you successfully complete the program, it's possible that the charges, these new felony charges that you're facing, could be dismissed, sir. So that's really a good outcome. If you're interested in participating in the program and you're eligible for that dismissal option, then, you know, it's something worth exploring, at least in my opinion. If you want to do that, sir, your next hearing would be a STEPS review hearing, and that'd be 1 week from today, next Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning in Superior Court. And so, sir, are you interested in participating in that program?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that steps review hearing 1 week from today on the 20th at 9 o'clock in the morning. If you're in custody, sir, you will be brought to court for that hearing. If you're out of custody by then, it's important that you come back to court for that hearing. Because not only if you were to fail to appear, not only could a warrant issue for your arrest, sir, but also you could lose the opportunity to participate in this steps option. So in any event, just stresses the need to come to court. So that takes care of that. And so let me move on to the city court matters. And then as it relates to the city court matters, as I said, you are being seen on 7 warrants on 7 cases alleging failures to appear on across all of these cases. So it's going to be 1 bond across all 7 of these cases. I'm ordering a $500 cash or secured bond across your city court cases. If you post that bond, sir, I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, sir. Your next hearing on the city court matters is going to be, a video review hearing, and you're going to get paperwork that says this, but I'm going to tell it to you. It's going to be a video review hearing on November 21st at 1:45 in the afternoon. Hang on just a second. Yeah, it's November 21st, 1:45 in the afternoon. So that's next Friday. And so one final thing on these city court cases, sir. This is also the time for your arraignment on these different charges that allege I don't think that I've told you what the specific charges are yet, but they allege multiple counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, a count of possession of prescription only drug, a count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, a count of disorderly conduct, and actually multiple counts of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. Sir, this is the time for your arraignment on all of these 7 city court cases. You, sir, are advised that I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf for all of these city court cases. You are presumed innocent on all of these charges. If you have failed to appear at future hearings on these city court cases, not only could a warrant issue for your arrest, sir, as you're learning this morning, but also the cases could go forward in your absence. Trial could go forward in your absence. And if you if you were convicted and could not be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day.
Okay. Is it so cash and secured? Is that actually secured? Is it what is secured? So your attorney's going to reach out to you probably early next week. I'll talk to him about them. Okay. Is it like okay? All right. Thank you. Am I good?
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Hey, Joe Beguer.
All right, Mr. Almaguer, this is your initial appearance. You are being seen on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug for sale, you used an electronic communication device during a drug transaction, and that you possessed drug paraphernalia. Sir, as it relates to all of these charges, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Smith is seated to your left. He's going to help you out during this hearing, sir. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. In order to prepare for this hearing, I have reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint, and I've also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is requesting a $10,000 bond plus a release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Mr. Smith, what would you like me to know, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Given the defendant's age, his lifelong ties to Tucson, and his housing that he has available to him, I'm actually asking that he be released to pretrial services. I understand that this is a sales case and that it is severe, and I'm not minimizing anything, but the amount that is alleged is on the lower end of what sales normally are. If a bond is needed and the court believes that's appropriate, I would ask that it be no more than $2,500, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Almaguer. I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, sir. Some really important things, though. It's really important that you stay in touch with your attorney and that you come back to court, because failure to do either of those things could lead to peril in the future. And a warrant, frankly, if you don't come to court. So I'm setting your next hearing, sir. It's going to be a preliminary hearing. That's on December 3rd. That's a Wednesday at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be in Pima County Justice Court. But just stay in touch with your attorney. because that attorney can help keep you apprised of what's going on and so forth. You are going to be released to pretrial services, sir. Again, I don't know if I said this yet, but no firearms or weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. And I believe that that takes care of it. Thank you very much. Your excuse, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So you're getting released. Make sure you call that number when you get released.
Okay. No, close right up.
No, not right now. When you're out.
Really?
Esquivel.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Ronaldo Augustine Esquivel Jr.
All right, Mr. Escobar, I'm seeing you on a couple matters. So first of all, you, sir, have a new felony arrest that alleges that you committed 4 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree, a count of theft by control, and then a possession of burglary tools. Also seeing you on a failure to appear, alleging that you failed to appear on a misdemeanor matter out of justice court concerning a shoplifting allegation. And so, sir, as it relates to all of these matters, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney represent you during the pendency of these cases. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, sir, on the felony matter. Mr. Smith is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for today's hearing, I've reviewed the information in the interim complaints. I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, and I've also reviewed the state's recommendation, which requests that I hold Mr. Escobar without bond pursuant to Article 2, Section 22, which states, sir, that if you're on release for one felony offense, and then you commit a new felony offense while you're pending in that first felony offense, that you can be held without bond. Anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
Your Honor, it is a PI case that was pending. It's also before he got indicted. I understand that's not necessarily considered in the rules of criminal procedure, but I do think it's important to know how close together these two are. It's not as if he's been on pretrial services and chose to commit new actions far down the line after he's already been in contact with them. With that in mind, I'm asking for a bond to be placed today. I think given his situation, a bond of $2,000 is appropriate, but I submit to the court.
Thank you very much. I am going to hold you without bond, Mr. Escobar, as it relates to the new felony case. I'm setting a no bond hearing, and that's going to be on Tuesday. That's Tuesday, November 18th, 2:30 in the afternoon in Superior Court. And sir, if you do post bond and find yourself out of custody, sir, you are ordered not to possess any firearms or weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Submit to monitoring or treatment as recommended by pretrial services. Really important condition here. I'm going to tell you right now. Do not go back to the U of A campus. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And so your no bond hearing, sir, is going to be on Tuesday at 2:30. I'm also setting a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on Monday, November 24th, 1:30 in the afternoon. And so that takes care of it. Really important, sir, that you stay in contact with your attorney because they can help you keep you apprised of what's going on and so forth. And so that takes care of that. Let me move on to the misdemeanor now. All right, again, misdemeanor case involves an allegation of failure to appear on shoplifting. I'm going to set your hearing for a pre-trial. It's going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, sir. I am going to impose a bond of $50 on that case, just so that you get credit for that. It's going to be a cash or secured bond. And so I'm noting the felony hold. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you on that misdemeanor matter. Her name is Janet Altschuler. She's going to be able to help you out at that hearing tomorrow and as the case plays out. So that takes care of that. And just a reminder, sir, on all of these matters, if you find yourself out of custody, it's really important you come back to court because if you don't, a warrant will issue for your arrest. And that covers it. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Hollins.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
It's Monte James Holland.
All right, Mr. Holland, I am seeing you this morning. First of all, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges of that allege aggravated DUI. And so you, sir, have the right to remain silent as it relates to these charges. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at all proceedings on this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You are going to be assisted by Mr. Smith, who's seated to your left this morning. And so in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I have reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation which requests a $10,000 bond plus release to pretrial services if you post that bond, sir. So, Mr. Smith, anything further, Mr. Poston, on that?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yes, Your Honor. The last case that he had was probation was terminated early. It was designated a misdemeanor. He's got attachments here to Tucson. He's got housing available. I think given his conduct, this is appropriate for pretrial services. If a bond is in place, I think a $2,000 bond.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Give me just a moment. Okay, Mr. Holland, I am going to hold you on that $2,000 cash secured bond. Sir, if you post that bond, you are going to be released to the supervision of pretrial services. And so really important conditions here, sir. If you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody. You may not drive without a valid license, and you may not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand that, sir?
Sure.
And so I said I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, sir. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on November 24th, 1:30 in the afternoon. You're going to get paperwork that explains all this. And so I believe that that takes care of it. And so just again, sir, really important that you come back to that next court date. If you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And really important that you stay in contact with your attorney. That preliminary hearing may not actually occur. So that's why it's important to talk to your attorney because you may not actually have to show up for that court date. So just stay in contact with the public defender. They can help you out, sir. Okay?
Sure.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Elson?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
Zachary David Nelson.
Okay, so Mr. Nelson, I'm seeing you on new charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug, possessed a dangerous drug, and then you possessed drug paraphernalia alleged to have happened yesterday. I'm also seeing you on a failure to appear out of Tucson, out of Justice Court. Actually, that appears to be a new charge. I'll come back to that, though. I'm also seeing you out of on 2 failures to appear out of Tucson City Court, sir. So let me start with a felony. And so in order to prepare, and so, hold on, sorry. Sir, you have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these matters that I've mentioned to you, sir. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. As it relates to who that attorney is going to be, sir, I am appointing the public defender to represent you. You have Mr. Smith seated to your left to help you out for today's hearing, sir. And in order to prepare for today's hearing, I have reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I have reviewed the information in the interim complaint. I've also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is released to pretrial services with setting a steps hearing. And so I will say I'm really on the fence on this one about release to pretrial services or a low bond. Mr. Smith, what would you like me to know, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just a 5 out of 5 on the FTA scale, and the other FTAs this morning are what concern me.
I understand the concern there. He does have transportation available to him from his mom, which is different than what it's been before. As well, he has been homeless in the past, and while he was notified of his court dates, often when they have a single failure to appear. They then get mailed a time. Obviously, he's not able to receive that. So when it gets rescheduled, he doesn't know what's happening at that point. So as long as he's able to keep on top of his court dates, he should be appearing no issue in the future. I would ask for pretrial services as well, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, if I release you, do you understand how important it is that you come back to your next court dates? Because it doesn't seem like you've understood that in the past.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Because if you don't do that, I think as you're noticing this morning, as you sit at the jail for this hearing, things have a way of compounding themselves and getting worse. So really, really important that you come back to that next court date. I am going to release you, sir, because I just don't, I'm willing to take a chance on you because I do not see FTA issues in the way that I've seen it with other individuals that we've seen this morning. I'm setting your preliminary hearing, sir. That's going to be on December 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's going to be it. Just stay in contact with your attorney about that, sir. Given that you are being released, I am ordering that you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. And so submit to any sort of monitoring or treatment that they recommend. You may possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Sir, you're also eligible for a program called STEPS. What that is, it's a program for people that may have a substance use disorder. And so what that means is that if you are eligible for the program and you take care of what the program asks of you, it's possible that the charges could be dismissed and that you wouldn't have that conviction on your record. You wouldn't have a felony on your record potentially. All good stuff. Are you interested in participating in that program, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do in light of you saying that you're interested in participating, sir, is I'm going to set a hearing. It's 1 week from today in Superior Court at 9 o'clock in the morning. And that's going to be for what's called a STEPS hearing. And so what you're going to need to do, sir, is come down to court 1 week from today, 9 o'clock in the morning, and appear for that STEPS hearing. And then you'll learn more information about the program at that time. You'll have the ability to enter into it if you want to, speak to an attorney about it, and so forth. And so if you don't appear at that hearing, sir, a couple things could happen. First of all, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And secondly, you could lose the ability to participate in that STEPS program and have the charges potentially go away. So for all these reasons, again, just really important to come back to court, sir. And so I believe that that covers it. Anything further from either counsel or from you, Mr. Smith? I think that got it all.
I think that covers everything for the felony, Your Honor.
Right. I'm going to move on now. Okay. And so we have, let's move on to the Justice Court matter, which alleges, sir, that you failed to appear, reference a shoplifting charge. Just a moment on that. Yes, a shoplifting charge dating back to May of 2025. Sir, I'm going to release you on that charge. However, you need to come back to court. Really important that you do that because if you don't, again, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Your next hearing is going to be an arraignment. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but it's going to be an arraignment at 8:30 in the morning on November 24th. And so please come back to Justice Court at that time for that hearing, sir, because you'll get a warrant if you don't. And additionally, sir, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs on that case. And that takes care of that one. Let me move on to the city court matter, and then we will conclude. Okay, so the city court matter alleges one charge, possession of drug paraphernalia, and that you failed to appear for that charge, sir. I'm going to release you on your promise to appear. And your next hearing on that is going to be on December 15th. Again, you'll get paperwork that says this, but it's going to be December 15th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's going to be in front of Judge Verena for a pretrial hearing, sir. And so that actually, I'm going to appoint the city public defender. Actually, hold on. No. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to appoint the city PD on that one since you're going to be out of custody. But yeah, so December 15th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Judge Verena for a pretrial. I'm releasing you on that case, sir. It's something you're going to want to tell your felony attorney at the public defender's office. Just let them know that you have this city court case and this justice court case, and they can help you out a little bit as it relates to that. So one final thing, sir, and then you're on your way. Really important. First of all, this is your arraignment as it relates to that city court case. And so what that means, sir, is that I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You're presumed innocent of all of these charges. If you fail to appear at a future hearing, not only could you get a warrant for your arrest, sir, but those hearings, including trial, could go forward in your absence. If you're convicted and could not be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Thank you very much. You are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
You- Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. Good
Please
morning,
give me your name.
Sergey Nikogosov.
Okay. Mr. Nikogosov, I'm probably not saying that correctly. This, sir, is your initial appearance. And what that means, sir, is that I'm seeing you on new charges that allege the following. Give me just a second. Allege that you possessed a dangerous drug and that you possessed drug paraphernalia. These are both alleged to have happened yesterday. You're also being seen on one failure to appear out of Tucson City Court for a possession of drug paraphernalia charge. And so you have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these matters, sir. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you on the felony matter. That attorney is going to be the legal defender's office. And so in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, sir, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial, reviewed the information in the interim complaint, also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is released to pretrial with a steps court hearing. And so nothing further from you, Mr. Poston, is that right?
Correct.
Mr. Smith.
We agree with the recommendation of release to pretrial services, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Nikogos, how do you say your last name, sir?
Nikogosov, you got it right, Your Honor.
Okay, good. Well, I won't try it again because I'll probably say it wrong now. Sir, I'm willing to take a chance on you and release you to pretrial services, but we're talking about you failing to appear in the next case I talked to you about. So again, this just really stresses the importance of coming back to court, because if you don't do that, then warrants issued for your arrest, and whatever court cases and problems you have now have a way of getting worse. Does that make sense, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm going to release you on the felony matter, and I am going to order that you be released to pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And additionally, sir, I'm setting your preliminary hearing December 3rd, 1:30 in the afternoon. Also, sir, you are eligible for a program that is called STEPS. And so what that means, sir, is that it's designed for people that may have a substance abuse problem. And so what that means, sir, is that if you're eligible for the program and you complete what the program asks of you, it's possible that your charges, these new felony charges, could be dismissed and you wouldn't have that felony on your record. Is that something that you're interested in participating in, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, please.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So what I'm going to do, sir, is I'm going to set a hearing. It's going to be 1 week from today on November 20th, next Thursday. It's at 9 o'clock in the morning in Superior Court. That's your steps hearing. And so what you need to do, sir, is come back to court at Superior Court next Thursday at 9 o'clock, and you'll get more information about the steps program and so forth at that time. You can enter into the program if that's what you want to do. And so important that you come back then, because not only could a warrant issue for your arrest if you don't show up, but you could lose the ability to participate in that steps program. Does that all make sense, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so that takes care of the felony. Now let me move on to the city court matter. The city court matter involves an allegation that you failed to appear. Just a moment. Again, in relation to a drug paraphernalia charge, I am going to release you on that matter, sir. I am going to set an out of custody pretrial date. That's going to be December 15th, 9 o'clock in the morning. And sir, I'm going to order you possess, consume no alcoholic beverages on that case. And that takes care of it. Okay, sir, that takes care of it. Again, please come back to court and you are done for the day. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Prieto, agree? That's what he said? Or sabi mo?
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Agent Jesus Prieto.
Prieto, I'm seeing you on a couple different matters. I'm seeing you on new charges out of Pima County Superior Court. I'm also seeing you on a misdemeanor matter alleging that you, well, just a second. Actually, we're going to be dismissing the misdemeanor matter, so I'll come back to that in a moment.
Okay.
Give me just a second. Okay, so as to all of this stuff, you have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about this could be used against you. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. That's going to be the public defender's office. Mr. Smith is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for today's hearing, sir, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint, and I've also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is pretrial services with a step screening. That is the court's inclination as well. Mr. Smith, anything you'd like me to know, sir?
No, given the circumstances, we agree.
Okay. So, Mr. Prieto, I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. And so please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. I'm going to order that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You possess no firearms or weapons. And your preliminary hearing, sir, is going to be on December 3rd. And that's going to be at 1:30 in the afternoon. And you're going to have paperwork that says all this. But please stay in contact with your attorney, sir. And then one final thing before I let you go. You are eligible for a program called STEPS. And so what STEPS is it's a program for people that might have an issue with substance abuse that they may want to address. And so what that is, sir, is that if you're eligible for it, what it means is that if you complete the program successfully, you complete the requirements that they ask of you, the charges could be dismissed and you wouldn't have this case on your record anymore, let alone a conviction. Is that something that you're interested in participating in, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so what I'm going to do, sir, is I'm going to set a hearing for you 1 week from today. It's next Thursday, the 20th, 9 o'clock in the morning. And that's going to be for a STEPS hearing in Superior Court 1 week from today, downtown at Superior Court for that STEPS hearing. You'll learn more about the program at that time. You can enter into it if you want to. So I believe that that takes care of the felony matter, sir. Let me move on to the misdemeanor. Let's see.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir.
Give me a second. We're just looking up that real quick on the city case.
Okay. Yes, sir. I heard.
Thank you. Okay, so on the city case, you actually have two charges, sir. One is driving with a suspended license. That charge, charge is being dismissed. So that charge is going away. However, you also have a charge of displaying a false plate, which is a civil charge. So that one is not being dismissed. However, what we need you to do, sir, is come back to city court. I'm not setting like a hard and fast court date on this, but you'll get a court that says this, but you need to come back to city court by December 3rd in room 104. So that's December 3rd, 104, courtroom 104. Sorry, it's room 104. And you just need to do it between now and then. So you're going to be out of custody. So sometime in the next 2.5 weeks, come down to city court and get that civil charge taken care of so that you don't
Okay.
face consequences for failing to do that. So it's
Okay.
just been reduced to a civil, so just take care of it between now and early December and you should be good to go, okay?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a good day. Oh.
Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
Angela Rome.
All right, Mr. Rome, this is your initial appearance. I am seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug and then you possessed drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these charges, ma'am. You also have the right to an attorney. I am appointing the public defender to represent you. In order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information supplied by pretrial services, and the state's recommendation, which is released to pretrial services with the steps court hearing. I'm inclined to do that. Mr. Smith, anything further?
No, we agree with the assessment, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. So give me just a moment and I'll talk to you about this. So Ms. Rome, I'm setting your next hearing as a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on December 3rd, 1:30 in the afternoon, Pima County Justice Court. And I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services. You must submit to any monitoring or treatment that they recommend. That includes, and I'm also going to order that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You possess no firearms or weapons. Also, ma'am, it looks like you may be eligible for a program called STEPS. So that's a program for people that may have a substance abuse issue that they may want to address. And so the way that works is that assuming that you're eligible for it, if you complete what the program asks of you, then the charges will be dismissed and it goes away. You know, it's good. You don't have it on your record, no conviction, that sort of thing. Are you interested in participating in that program, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a steps hearing 1 week from today. So that's next Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. And so please come back to court, Superior Court, next Thursday at 9 o'clock, because you'll learn more about the program at that time. And you can have the ability to enter into it if you want to do that. And so if you don't come to that hearing, ma'am, it's possible that a warrant could issue for your arrest. It's also possible that you could lose the ability to participate in the program. So just please come to court and stay in contact with your attorney, and then everything should be good as long as you do those two things, okay? Have a good day, ma'am. You are excused.
Thank you.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Please tell me your name.
Trampus Turner.
All right, a moment. Mr. Turner, I'm seeing you on a few new matters. The first is a felony allegation alleging that you committed disorderly conduct with a weapon. I'm also seeing you on 2 failures to appear out of Tucson City Court, alleging that you failed to appear on 1 trespassing case and then a separate shoplifting case. Let me start with the felony. First of all, as it relates to all of this, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you would say about any of these cases could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, sir. Mr. Smith is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for today's hearing, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, reviewed the interim complaint. I've also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is a $7,500 bond, plus release to pretrial services if you post that bond. Mr. Poston, anything further, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Smith, sir.
Given his homeless status, Your Honor, I think 7,500 is probably more than what's necessary here. He's got a single felony prior in his time, and I think $1,500 is more appropriate.
Okay. Just a moment. Okay, I am going to impose that $1,500 bond, sir. It's going to be a cash or secured bond. And so what that means, sir, is that if you post that, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please submit to any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to submit to. I'm setting your next hearing for a preliminary hearing, sir. That's going to be on November 24th, 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, you submit to monitoring or treatment as recommended by pretrial services. And sir, one last thing, really important that you come back to court if you find yourself out of custody, because if you fail to do that, sir, a warrant will issue for your arrest and you will get arrested on that warrant. Let me move on to the city court matter and then we'll be done. So I'm actually seeing you, actually I just said this, but it's 2 city court matters. And so both alleging failures to appear. And so on those, sir, I am going to appoint the city public defender to represent you on those matters. I'm going to set your next hearing for a non-transport review. And so that's going to be on December 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm gonna release you on the city court case, sir. But again, really important that you come back to court, sir, because you are now certainly aware of what happens when you don't do that, sir. And so that takes care of that. You're going to be released on the city court matters, but please come back to court December 19th, regardless of whether you're in or out of custody, sir. And then also please stay in contact with your attorney on that felony case because they're no doubt going to be able to help you out. All right. Thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Could you please tell me your name, sir?
Isaiah Washington.
Mr. Washington, I'm seeing you on a couple matters. And specifically, it's a new felony arrest for aggravated driving under the influence. And then it looks like misdemeanor charges that are born out of the same incident, all of which are alleged to have happened this morning about 1:30 in the morning. Sir, as it relates to all of these matters, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. And so as it relates to the felony case, I am appointing the public defender to represent you, sir. In order to prepare for this morning's hearing and review the information in the interim complaint, the information supplied by pretrial and the state's recommendation, which is a $2,500 cash secured bond plus release to pretrial if that's posted. Mr. Poston, anything further, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith?
Your Honor, he has housing available. He has transport available to him. He has an employment. He's got no criminal history. I think he's the perfect candidate for pretrial services, Your Honor.
Okay, given the absence of other DUI history, sir, I am willing to take a chance on you and release you to the supervision of pretrial services, but I need to be crystal clear on a couple conditions that I'm going to impose, sir. I am ordering that you do not drive without a valid license and that you do not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand that, and are you willing to follow those conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, in light of that, I'm willing to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. I'm going to set your next hearing as a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on December 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. And please stay in contact with your attorney, sir, because they'll be able to, help guide you through this process. But again, no alcohol, no driving without a valid license. And so that takes care of the felony. Let me move on to the misdemeanor now. So again, the misdemeanor, it's born out of the same incident, so it's not a separate case, really. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And so I'm going to set that case for an arraignment, and that's going to be on November 24th, 8:30 in the morning. And that's going to be in Justice Court, Pima County Justice Court, rather than Superior Court. On that case, I am going to appoint an attorney. It's going to be Janet Alschuler to represent you, sir. And so please stay in contact with her. You will have her information on the paperwork that you get, sir. Again, no alcohol, illegal drugs, do not drive without a valid license. Really important that you come back to these next court dates, sir, because if you don't do that, then a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could face additional consequences. And on that justice court case, you're going to be released on your own recognizance, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, what was the date for the justice court case again?
November 24th for an arraignment, 8:30 in the morning.
Thank you.
Yep, you got it. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry. All right, and then I believe we got the Aho matter.
Where, Judge?
Yes. Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Alejandro Molina.
All right, just a moment, sir. Okay, sir, I'm seeing you. First of all, you have the right to remain silent as it relates to everything that we're going to talk about this morning, sir. And so I'm seeing you on charges that allege a warrant out of Santa Cruz County for trafficking in stolen property and theft of means of transportation. And then another warrant out of Santa Cruz County alleging possession of a dangerous drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. The trafficking and stolen property and theft of a means allegations are from February of 2022. The dangerous drug allegations are from November of 2023. And so, just a moment. Each of the warrants list a $24.99 bond amount. Actually, I take that back. It looks like he is on probation on these matters. Excuse me. So these are probation violation warrants on those two cases. So I do not see a hold out of Santa Cruz other than noting that there's also no bond amount on the warrant. Mr. Smith, sir, what would you like me to know on this?
Your Honor, I have no information for Mr. Anton.
Right. This is Mr. Molina, right?
Yes, this is me.
Okay, yeah.
Say something?
Probably not a good idea to report it, and anything you say could be used against you.
It's because I've already been charged, and my probation, like, he told me that if I was to get stopped at the borderline, to call my probation officer, because there shouldn't be, like, I've already been charged with these charges. I already went to court
Right.
and everything.
Yeah, I see that. I see that you are convicted of them, so you're on probation for them. And what I see
Yeah.
is that you're on probation until August of 2029. So what I'm going to do, sir, on both of these matters is I'm going to impose a $500 bond as it relates to this, and just if there's some sort of error here in the sense that you should not have been arrested on this, just contact your probation officer. Also contact your attorney because they are going to be able to assist you, sir, as you navigate this and could potentially get this resolved. I'm not promising you that, but just give them a call and then see how that goes. Give me just a moment. Who's the attorney? So I'm not appointing an attorney on these matters, sir. However, you will have an attorney out of Santa Cruz County that is going to represent you. So you'll get more information on that, sir. You'll probably be seen by Santa Cruz in the near future. But additionally, if you're able to establish contact with the probation officer, and if this is a misunderstanding, the probation officer may be able to take steps to resolve it. But again, I want to advise you that anything you say about any of this could be used against you. So I would probably suggest that you contact your attorney out of Santa Cruz first, and then reserve any sort of conversation with probation for after your attorney has said that that's in fact a smart thing to do. Does that all make sense, sir?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You're going to get paperwork that says this, sir. And so that takes care of it. Please have a good day. Thank you.
You too.
Hold on, Judge. No, you're good.
How can I get a hold of, like, do I get a phone call?
Yeah, you'll get a phone call. I'll give you the information.
All righty. Thank you, Aho.
Will issue for your arrest, and those hearings will happen without you. Also, if you are convicted and cannot be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to come to court, then you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Now, sir, based on my review in this case, it looks like warrants have been issued a few times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold you on a $250 cash or secured bond. You were not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't go back to the incident location. And your next court date, if you're in custody, will be a video review hearing on November the 21st at 1:45 in the afternoon. However, if you're released from custody, then your next court date will be December the 16th at 9 o'clock in the morning. You will get paperwork with all this information. Now, sir, if you get out of custody, you need to make sure you make your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, but I had a question.
What's your
It's
question?
it's because today I got sentenced for my probation hold and everything, right? And I got released and everything and stuff. And I already went to court for this misdemeanor stuff like probably like 2 weeks ago and stuff. And they were willing to release me already on this case and stuff. But the thing was holding me was my probation hold and stuff. So I don't know like what's going on.
Okay, well, sir, I appointed an attorney in your city court matter. You're going to get the number to contact them. My advice to you is to contact them first thing in the morning. Okay? You're excused.
Yeah, just go with it right now.
My
Hello, can I get your name?
Genesee Monk.
All right, ma'am, we are seeing you this evening because it looks like you've got a couple of misdemeanor cases pending in Tucson City Court. We're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates. So it looks like you're currently in custody on a separate matter. All we're talking about are these city court cases. So any conditions that I set tonight, they're not going to affect whatever release conditions you currently have in place. So you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have the right to be present for all of your court dates. However, if you don't come to court, then a warrant will issue for your arrest, and those hearings will happen without you. Also, if you are convicted and cannot be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to come to court, then you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. So I am going to enter not guilties on your behalf for any charges that you've not already been arraigned on. It looks like you currently, the newest case, you were charged with criminal damage and interference with judicial proceedings. Those were both alleged to be domestic violence offenses. You have an older case where you were charged with assault, domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence. I will consolidate both of your cases together so you can handle them with one hearing. And I'm setting this for a non-transport review on December the 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm releasing you on your promise to appear. If I didn't mention it already, the City Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your only conditions in this case is that you not commit any acts of domestic violence, that you not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages, and you not possess any firearms or weapons. So, ma'am, if you're released from custody in all your matters, you need to make sure you make all your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, you're excused. Hello, can I get your name?
Tiffany Gallegos.
All right, ma'am, we are seeing you this evening because you have been, let's see here. Let me just get you.
Felony, Your Honor.
Thank you. Everything's a little bit topsy-turvy. It sounds like everybody's dealing with calendar issues, so thank you for that, Mr. Santini. So, ma'am, it looks like you've been charged with some felony drug offenses. You've been charged with possession of a narcotic drug as well as possession of a dangerous drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Let's see. Now, it looks like these charges stemmed from Maricopa County, so you do have the right to have an attorney appointed. However, since this is with another county, I cannot appoint you an attorney. That's something that Maricopa County would have to take care of. Now, it looks like you're also being held on separate felony matters. So, Mr. Goodman, Mr. Santini, did either of you want to be heard with regards to release conditions or no?
Your Honor, we don't typically take a position, but as you noted, she's being held locally.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Goodman. Mr. Santini?
Yeah, Judge, given the APO the hold, we just ask that you honor the $2,500.
All right, ma'am, I am going to order you be held on a $2,500 cash or secured bond. If you post that, you will be supervised by pretrial services. As conditions of your release, no alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons. If you are released, you also need to comply with any monitoring or treatment directions pretrial services gives you, and you're not to return to the incident location. I'm setting an in-custody review hearing for December the 12th at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's so we can keep tabs on the Maricopa case and see if they're doing anything on this warrant. Now, ma'am, if you're released, you need to make sure you make your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah. Hello, can I get your name?
My name is Joshua Herrera.
All right, sir, we are seeing you this evening for your initial appearance on some new felony charges. You have been charged with, it looks like, promoting prison contraband. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing Andrew Ross to represent you. You will get paperwork that has his contact information on it. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about your release conditions in your next court dates. I have reviewed everything provided to me. The state is asking for a $5,000 bond with pretrial. Mr. Goodman, anything further?
Your Honor, I know he's held locally and has the out of county probation hold, but that's only a $500 hold. He's appears to have a violent history, and again, the allegations in this matter involve possessing a shank at the jail.
Mr. Fantini?
Judge, the hold locally is a 1K bond, and he's unable to pay it. So I've just asked for a equal amount, $1,000 on this new charge.
All right, sir, I am going to order you be held on a $2,000 cash or secured bond. You will be supervised by pretrial services if you post that, and you'll need to comply with any directions they give you. No alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons, and your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on November the 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And sir, if you're released from custody, you need to make sure you make all your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, sir, you're excused.
See?
Yeah, that's it. So for that date, the Smiths are indicted. And Andrew will come out to see you soon. Ross will come out to see you soon about it.
You able to contact them? Cause I try to get a hold of him, and I would like for you to tell him that he needs to pull up on his ASAP.
I'll let him know.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah, I know his email. I'll give him a shout.
Your Honor, Camacho David refused.
You said Camacho?
Yes, sir.
All right, we will go ahead and bump him till tomorrow.
Good evening, buenas tardes. No sé mucho español, pero algo expreso.
Do we have an interpreter on the line?
Good evening,
Yes, Your Honor. Good evening.
Hello, sir. Can I get your name?
Hola, señor. ¿Me puede dar su nombre, por favor?
Jaime Gerardo Nava con
Jaime Gerardo Navas Chacón.
Geraldo no, Gerardo. R A
Gerardo.
Gerardo, sí es. Gracias por la corrección.
All right, sir. So we are seeing you this evening because it looks like you've got a warrant that was issued for your arrest on a justice court case.
Lo estamos viendo esta noche porque parece ser que tiene una orden de aprehensión en el Tribunal de la Paz.
And it looks like it was actually in two separate cases where warrants were issued.
Parece ser que es en dos casos separados donde se hicieron las órdenes de arresto.
In one of the cases, you were charged with disorderly conduct and criminal trespass in the second degree.
En una le hicieron el cargo de allanamiento de morada, allanamiento del segundo grado y, Your Honor, you said criminal trespass and what else?
In the second degree.
En el segundo grado.
And then in the other case, you were charged with disorderly conduct as well.
En el otro caso, igual como anteriormente, por conducta escandalosa.
Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio. Cualquier cosa que usted diga pudiera ser usado en su contra.
You also have the right to an attorney, though not necessarily at court expense.
También tiene usted el derecho de obtener un abogado, pero no necesariamente bajo el costo del tribunal.
Now, I am going to appoint you an attorney. Her name is Jessica Valdez, and she is a Spanish speaker.
Le voy a nombrar una abogada, el nombre de ella es Jessica Valdés y ella habla español.
Tengo abogado del proyecto Florence, David Wolf, de la Universidad de Tucson, Arizona.
I
Renombrado.
have an attorney from the University of Arizona here in Tucson, Arizona. ¿Cuál es el nombre del abogado? Dijo, señor.
David Wolf, del proyecto Florence.
His name is David Wolf from
Pues,
Project
es mi abogado.
Florence.
Lleva
He's
todo
my
el
attorney.
caso de proceso de que entré 2020 a esta fecha. Ha
He
sido
has my
todo
court
el
case
proceso
from,
para
permíteme,
residencia.
señor, permíteme, por favor. He has my case ever since 2020 when it all started up to this day.
All right, sir, what I'm going to do right now is just out of an abundance of caution, I'm appointing Ms. Valdez as backup. If your attorney is able to still take the case, all he needs to do is file something with Justice Court and we'll get that cleared up.
Señor, solamente para tomar cautela, le estoy nombrando a la señorita Jessica Valdés para que sea su abogada. En caso de que usted quiera que su abogado lo represente en este caso, su abogado tiene que tramitar un pedimento allí en el Tribunal de la Paz.
Now, what I'm going to do in each of your cases is I am going to order you be held on a $100 cash or secured bond.
Lo que sí voy a pedir es que lo detengan en cada uno de sus casos bajo una fianza en efectivo o asegurada de $100.
Your cases are both going to be set for tomorrow, November the 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon over at Pima County Justice Court.
Su caso será programado para mañana, día 14 de noviembre a la 1 de la tarde en el Tribunal de la Paz.
And as conditions of your release in each of these cases, you're not to have any contact with any alleged victim and don't go back to the alleged incident locations.
Y como las instrucciones de usted en este caso es que no vaya a regresar al lugar de los hechos, no tener contacto con las supuestas víctimas en ambos casos.
Now, sir, those bonds will be consecutive, but I have to inform you that if you bond out of custody, you need to make sure you make your court dates. If you don't, another warrant is going to issue for your arrest.
Esas fianzas ambas son consecutivas. Si las llega a pagar, le recuerdo, y si no se presenta, habrá otra orden de aprehensión.
And that's all for this evening, sir. You're excused.
Es todo por hoy, señor. Gracias.
¿Puedo preguntar algo?
May I ask something?
As long as it's not about the facts of your case, yes.
Siempre y cuando no se trate sobre los hechos de su caso, ¿sí?
¿Por qué?
Why?
Because this is not the forum where we talk about the facts of your case. I don't want you to say something that you think will help that will wind up actually hurting your case in court.
Porque este foro no es para hablar de su caso. Yo no quiero que diga algo sobre su caso que piense usted que le pueda ayudar y que le vaya a perjudicar esto en el tribunal.
¿Puedo hacer otra pregunta? ¿Dos?
Can I make another question?
One more.
Una más.
Para eso está la corte, para arreglar este problema. Aquí estoy presente.
That's why there's court in order for me to take care of this problem, and I'm here present.
Yes.
Usted pregúnteme y yo respondo.
You can ask me and I'll respond.
All right, sir, you have court dates tomorrow, November the 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This hearing is adjourned and you are excused.
Mañana tiene usted su próxima audiencia el día 14 de noviembre a la 1 de la tarde. Hemos finalizado.
¿Acá? No me dejaron preguntar la última pregunta, la número
You
1.
didn't let me ask the last question.
¿Dónde queda el juzgado de la paz?
And where is Justice Court?
You will get paperwork that has the address on it.
Le van a dar documentación donde viene el domicilio.
Pregunto porque no sé. Por eso pregunto. Gracias.
I'm asking because I don't know. Thank you.
You heard from me, Your Honor?
I believe so, and you were Mr. Calloway, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, just give me 1 second to finish up this last gentleman's paperwork. But yes, I do have your file. All right, sir, so we are seeing you this evening because it looks like you have a case pending in Pima County Justice Court where a warrant was issued for your arrest. You were originally charged with underage drinking and a warrant was issued back on November the 7th of 2025. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. However, that is not necessarily at court expense. Now, we're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates here in a second. I just need to check with the clerk real quick on a logistics question. All right, sorry, I just needed to get some more information on your file. Thank you for your patience. So what I'm going to do is I am going to quash the warrant and release you on your own recognizance, but you need to get this taken care of. It's not going to go away. So make sure you make the court dates I give you. Otherwise, you're going to be right back here. Do you understand?
I do have a quick question for you.
Uh-huh.
So I'm currently being held within Pima County Jail for a different case that is a felony matter being dealt with with the Superior Court. How exactly was a warrant issued when I was in Pima County custody during the time of the last court date?
All right, so you know what I'm going to do? Since you are currently in custody, I am going to order that you be held on a $100 bond. That's not for punishment. That's basically so you get some time credit on this case since you're already serving time on the other. The other thing that will let me do is it will let me appoint you an attorney. So I am going to appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you. You will get paperwork that has all of her information on it so you can get a hold of her and then go ahead and raise that question with her as well, and she can go ahead and look into it for you. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this for a judge's review hearing tomorrow, November the 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, if you're released from custody and all your matters, you need to make sure that you take care of this. Like I said, it's not going to go away. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, so you're excused.
Thank you. Have a good night. Where actually in the jail? Right.
Hello, can I get your name?
Deborah Damon.
All right, ma'am, we are seeing you this evening because it looks like you've got a couple of cases pending in Pima County Justice Court where warrants were issued for your arrest. Both cases are from 2025, and in both of them you were charged with shoplifting by removal. And it looks like warrants were issued for your arrest back on October 15th of this year. Now we're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates. Now you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I am going to appoint Robin Ald to represent you in these matters. You will get paperwork that has his contact information so that you can get a hold of him.
Okay.
Now, the warrant that was issued by Judge Garza carries an amount of $500. So what I'm going to do is I am going to order you be held on that $500 cash or secured bond amount. Those bonds will be concurrent. As conditions of your release, no alcohol or illegal drugs. You are also not to have any contact with any alleged victims, and you're not to go back to the incident location. I am going to set this for a hearing tomorrow, November the 14th. That will be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon over at Pima County Justice Court. You will get paperwork that has all this information. Now, I need to advise you that if you don't come to court, that a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, you're excused.
Thank you.
You.
Hello, sir. Give me 1 second. I'm just finishing up the last individual's work here. All right, sir. Thank you for that. Can I get your name?
You
All right, sir, we are seeing you this evening before an initial appearance because you've got a case pending in Pima County Justice Court for misdemeanor charges, and it looks like a warrant was issued for your arrest. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing Janet Altschuler to represent you in this matter. You'll get paperwork that has her contact information so that you can get a hold of her. Now we're going to be talking about your release conditions and your next court dates. The warrant that was issued in this case carries an amount of $500. I am going to honor the amount listed in the warrant in order that you be held on a $500 cash or secured bond. As conditions of your release, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with any alleged victims or the incident location. And I'm setting this for a hearing tomorrow, November the 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon over at Pima County Justice Court. Now, if you're released from custody, sir, you need to make sure that you make your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're excused.
Martes.
Hello, can I get your name?
Duarte, Beatriz Duarte.
All right, so we are seeing you this evening because you have a number of cases pending in Tucson City Court. You have 5 total cases. One is from 2021, one is from 2024, the others are from 2025. Between all of those, you were charged with parks violations, endangerment, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, endangerment, criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, possession of drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass in the 1st degree, as well as it looks like criminal damage. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the City Public Defender's Office to represent you in all of your cases. You have the right to be present for all court dates. However, if you don't come to court, then a warrant will issue for your arrest, and those hearings will happen without you. Also, if you are convicted and cannot be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to come to court, then you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. So, ma'am, I'm going to enter not guilties on your behalf for any charges that you've not already been arraigned on. As I mentioned, the City Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. I am going to order that you be held on a $750 cash or secured bond. As conditions of your release, no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're not to have any contact with any alleged victims and not return to any of the incident locations involved in these cases. I'm setting this for a video hearing on November the 21st, 2025 at 1:45 in the afternoon. However, if you are released from custody, your next court date will be December the 11th, 2025 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You will get paperwork with all this information in it. Ma'am, you need to make sure you make your court dates if you're released from custody. If you don't, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you're excused. Hello, can I get your name?
Gilbert Lopez.
All right, so we are seeing you this evening because you've got 2 different cases pending in Tucson City Court. You've been charged with assault, domestic violence, unlawful imprisonment, disorderly conduct. Those are both domestic violence offenses as well, criminal trespass in the 1st degree, as well as another non-domestic violence, disorderly conduct. And it looks like failure to appear warrants were issued in both of these cases along the way. So we're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have the right to be present for all of your court dates. However, if you don't come to court, then a warrant will issue for your arrest, and those hearings will happen without you. Also, if you are convicted and cannot be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to come to court, then you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. I'm going to enter not guilties on your behalf for any charges that you've not already been arraigned on. At this point, that's very likely just the failures to appear. I am going to order you be held on a $750 cash or secured bond as conditions of your release. No alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons. You're not to commit any acts of domestic violence. And you're not to have any contact with any listed victims, their residences, or their workplaces. Now, your next court date will be a video review hearing on November the 21st at 1:45 in the afternoon. If you're released from custody, then your court date will be December the 22nd at 9 o'clock in the morning. You will get paperwork with all this information. Now, sir, you need to make sure you make your court dates if you're released. If you don't come to court, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're excused. Hello, can I get your name?
Um, um, my legal name is Josiah, but I go by Jade. Jade One.
Okay. All right, sir, we are seeing you this evening for a couple of different matters. It looks like you've got a pending case in Pima County Justice Court.
Sir.
And you also have some new felony charges. So we're going to be talking about your release conditions in both cases as well as your next court dates. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. And as we go through your cases, I'll let you know if somebody's getting appointed to each case. Now, in your felony matter, you were charged with burglary in the second degree. I am going to appoint the county public defender's office to represent you. I've read everything provided to me, and the state is asking for a $10,000 bond. Mr. Goodman, anything to add?
I would just note the maxing out on all the scales, the failure to appear for that other shoplift theft case. That's a warrant out for a case from 2024. And in looking at the prior felony conviction history, in at least two of the priors, there's numerous probation violations and revocations, which would indicate a lack of compliance if released.
Mr. Santini?
One moment with Jade first.
Sure.
So first, Judge, I'd like to address the Justice Court warrant for Jade. It looks like if you look at the date, August 3rd, 2024, and then you look at the probation violation, it looks like she was actually picked up just about that same time, so probably never made her court date. She had indicated that it was on August 12th and was picked up shortly before, so that links up with that. She is a lifelong Tucsonan, and she does have full-time employment as an assembler, and she did verify some housing at an extended stay seal. If you're not inclined to release Jade this evening, Judge, we would ask for a much more reduced bond. I would also like to note that this is a non-violent offense. We would ask for a much more reduced bond of $1,100 given her indigency.
All right, so ma'am, I am going to order that you be held on an $1,100 bond that will be cash or secured, and you will be supervised by pretrial services. If you post that, you'll need to comply with any directions they give you. You are not to possess any alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons. Do not have any contact with the alleged victims, and not have any contact with their residences or workplaces or with the incident location. Now, Jail, are you seeing any other holds for this individual?
The Justice Court one?
Yeah.
We'll
We'll talk about the Justice Court one here in a second, but I want to make sure because we've had some issues with paperwork over here, so I just want to make sure that I have the correct information. But that's the only other matter we have. There's no separate felony hold, correct?
Jail saying no holds.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'm also setting a preliminary hearing for November the 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon on this case. Now, in the Justice Court matter, I am going to order that you be held on a $100 cash or secured bond. I'm appointing Janet Altschuler to represent you. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Again, no contact with any alleged victims or the incident locations. And let me back up just a step. In this particular case, you were charged with that shoplifting and a failure to appear warrant was added. I'm also going to set this one for a review hearing tomorrow. That will be November the 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll get paperwork for both of your cases that will include your release conditions as well as the names and contact information for your attorney. Now, you need to make sure you make your court dates, ma'am. If you don't, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. I was reading the paper. I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're excused.
Oh, what am I?
And so the bond is $1,100.
Hello, can I get your name?
Jonathan Lewis Kello.
All right, so we are seeing you this evening because it looks like you've got a case pending in Pima County Justice Court. You were charged with 3 counts of disorderly conduct, domestic violence, as well as criminal damage, domestic violence. Those are all 4 misdemeanor offenses. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, though not necessarily at court expense. We're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates here in a moment, but I just want to double check something in your pretrial services report. All right, so it looks like pretrial services was able to speak with the alleged victim, Mr. Stephen Crane. Do you currently live with him or do you have a separate residence? Oh, Jail, I think we might be muted. Sorry, sir, 1 second. Go ahead.
Say one more time.
I currently live with him.
Okay, so I'm going to release you on your promise to appear, but one of the conditions I'm going to put in place is that you can't go back to that residence. Do you have someplace else to go?
Nope.
Okay, Jail, how early is the transition center open?
We're open till about 12, Your Honor.
Okay.
He should be able to make it by that time.
All right, sir. So what I'm going to do is I am going to release you on your promise to appear, and I'm going to give you a court date. Jail has a transition center. They will tell you where to go to find that, and they can go ahead and perhaps help you with housing. But your next court date will be on November the 24th, and that will be at 10:30 in the morning. As conditions of your release, you are not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, and you're not to commit any acts of domestic violence. You're also not to have any contact with the alleged victim, the victim's residence, or their workplace. Now, what I will do is I will mark a box on your paperwork so you can take a copy of my order to law enforcement and get them to escort you one time to the property so you can go ahead and gather your belongings. Now, sir, are you currently hooked up with any sort of provider? Coke?
It might be La Frontera.
Okay, so you think you're with La Frontera?
Maybe, I'm unsure.
So the
Haven't checked.
All right, so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to include an order that you continue whatever treatment plan you have with your provider, okay?
Okay.
So again, your court date's going to be November the 24th. You need to make sure you make all your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue. Do you understand?
Can I get the court date on a piece of paper?
You'll get paperwork.
You'll
Okay,
get-
then yes, I understand.
All right, so you're excused.
Thank you.
Hello, can I get your name?
Luis Martinez. Martinez.
Sorry, did you say your first name was Craig?
Craig Martinez.
Okay. All right, so we are seeing you this evening because you've got a case pending in Pima County Justice Court. You also have a number of cases pending in Tucson City Court. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and as we go through your cases, I'll let you know if anyone's getting court appointed in any of your matters. You also have the right to be present for all of your court dates. However, if you don't come to court, then a warrant will issue for your arrest, and those hearings will happen without you. Also, if you are convicted and cannot be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to come to court, then you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Now, starting with your justice court case, you were originally charged with shoplifting, as well as criminal trespass in the third degree, and a failure to appear warrant was issued back on August 15th of this year. I am going to order you be held on the $100 cash or secured bond listed in that warrant. I'm appointing Robin Ald to represent you. As conditions of your release, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with the alleged victim or the incident location, and I'm setting it for a hearing tomorrow, November the 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, you also, as I mentioned, have a number of city court cases that we'll talk about here next. And in those matters, you have You have 7 cases currently pending. Between those cases, you've been charged with criminal trespass in the third degree, criminal damage, theft or shoplifting, possession of drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass in the second degree, possession of drug paraphernalia, as well as criminal damage and failures to appear. Now, I'm appointing the City Public Defender's Office to represent you in all those cases. I am also entering not guilties on your behalf to any charges that you've not already been arraigned on. At this point, that may just be the failure to appear charges. I am going to order that you be held on a $750 cash or secured bond. As conditions of your release, no alcohol or illegal drugs. You are not to have any contact with any alleged victims or the incident locations. Your next court date will be with Judge Hale, and if you're in custody, that will be on November the 21st, 2025 at 1:45 in the afternoon. However, if you're released from custody, your next court date will be December the 11th, 2025 at 2 p.m. Now, you will get paperwork that has all of this information on it, but you need to make sure you make all of your court dates. If you don't come to court, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, sir, you're excused.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sitting there. Fíjate, aquí.
Hello, can I get your name?
Hola, ¿me puede dar su nombre?
Alexis.
Alexis.
What's your last name?
Apellido.
Ibarra Guerrero.
Ibarra Guerrero.
All right, sir, we are seeing you this evening because you've been arrested on new felony charges.
Señor, lo estamos viendo el día de hoy porque ha sido arrestado bajo nuevos cargos de delitos graves.
You have been charged with one count of failure to remain at a scene of a fatal collision.
Un cargo por falta de no quedarse en el lugar de los hechos donde hubo una fatalidad.
We're going to be talking about your release conditions and your next court dates.
Vamos a hablar sobre sus condiciones de liberación y sus próximas comparecencias.
Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Señor, tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio. Cualquier cosa que usted diga pudiera ser usado en su contra.
You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you.
También tiene el derecho de tener un abogado de oficio y voy a nombrar a alguien de la oficina de abogados de oficio para que lo represente.
I've read everything provided to me, including the interim complaint, the pretrial services workup, and the state's recommendation.
He leído todo lo que me entregaron, incluyendo la demanda original, el reporte de los servicios precondenatorios
The state is asking for a $100,000 bond.
y la recomendación del Estado. El Estado está pidiendo una fianza de $1,000.
Mr. Goodman, anything you wish to add?
Señor Goodman, ¿algo más que quisiera usted agregar?
Your Honor, I would note he's only here on a visa, and this is the type of charge that would initiate removal proceedings.
Señor, su señoría le informaría que él está bajo una visa y ese es el tipo de cargo que iniciaría el proceso de expulsión.
And it's very concerning that part of the interim complaint conveys that at one point he essentially looked at the victim hunched over lying there and decided to take off.
Una de las cosas muy preocupantes de la demanda inicial es que él vio a la víctima que estaba agachado, doblado y se fue.
I've looked at all the documents, and the state believes it would appear this person doesn't even have a license and shouldn't have been on the road.
Y parece ser que esta persona no tiene ni licencia, no debería de haber estado en la calle tras el volante.
At least per all the, again, available documents such as the booking sheet and pretrial report. But nonetheless, I would echo law enforcement's concerns about this individual being a flight risk.
También dado al reporte precondenatorio y también estoy de acuerdo con lo que dicen las autoridades que esta persona sería un riesgo que se diera la fuga.
And if we don't impose some sort of monetary bond, it's very likely that he could be deported before a conclusion of this matter.
Y si no imponemos una fianza monetaria, lo más seguro es que este individuo sea deportado antes de que concluya este asunto.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Es todo lo que tengo, Su Señoría.
Thank you, Mr. Santini.
Gracias, señor Santini.
First, there may be an attorney for Mr. Ibarra on the line. Do we have one?
Primeramente, creo que tenemos un abogado para el señor, para el señor Ibarra en la línea. ¿Tenemos a uno?
If no, I can continue. Well, Judge, the factors weighing towards Mr. Ibarra's release today. He does have third-party custody confirmed in Tucson. He has no criminal history, and he is 18 years old.
Su señoría, tenemos factores para que lo liberen. Hay un lugar donde lo aceptarían terceras personas, no tiene ningún historial delictivo.
And he did also turn himself in. If you are inclined to hold him on a bond, Judge, we would ask for a more reasonable bond of $10,000.
Su señoría, también él se entregó y pediríamos una fianza más razonable de $10,000.
There's also lately, I don't think Mr. Goodman is completely wrong in his assessment that deportation could happen before the conclusion of the criminal case. But lately, if UCIS does do removal proceedings, they have been sending them to where they have open cases to get their convictions first before the final deportation if they're serious enough charges.
And let me interrupt, Mr. Goodman. Y últimamente, en lo que consideran las deportaciones, Quizás y antes de que concluya el caso, USIS en el proceso de expulsión lo mandarían a lo que son casos abiertos. And counsel, I interpreted up until you said open cases.
That's sort of I'm not sure what I had said after that, but they will send them to the jails if they do have an open case, and they tend to conclude those cases before deportations, at least recently.
Y lo mandan a la cárcel y esos casos tienden a resolverse antes de que los manden a deportación, de ser concluidos.
So for those reasons, Judge, we'd be asking for a more reasonable bond of $10,000.
Por eso, su señoría, estaremos pidiendo una fianza más razonable de $10,000.
All right, after having considered everything, I am going to order you be held on a $100,000 cash or secured bond.
Después de considerar todo, sí voy a ordenar que sea usted detenido bajo una fianza de $100,000, ya sea en efectivo o asegurada.
Once you are released, you will be supervised by pretrial services and you'll need to comply with any directives they give you.
Después de que sea liberado, tendrá que cumplir con los servicios precondenatorios y cualquier cosa que le dirijan a hacer.
No alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons.
Nada de alcohol, drogas ilegales, armas de fuego o armas.
You are not to drive without a valid license.
No deberá conducir sin licencia válida.
And you're not to have any contact with the deceased victim's family or representatives.
Y no deberá tener ningún tipo de contacto con la familia del finado ni ninguna víctima ni familiar.
Your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on November the 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Su próxima comparecencia será una audiencia preliminar el día 24 de noviembre a la 1:30.
Now, if you're released from custody, you need to make sure you make your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue for your arrest.
Ahora, si es liberado, tiene que asegurarse de que va a comparecer a todas sus citas. Si no lo hace, habrá una orden de aprehensión.
That's all for this evening, sir. You're excused.
Es todo por esta noche, señor. Se puede retirar. Your Honor, may the interpreter be excused?
You may. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, see, got it.
Hello, can I get your name?
Roxanne Leon.
All right, so we are seeing you this evening, ma'am, because you've been arrested on some new felony charges. So we're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates. Now, it looks like you've been charged with possession of a dangerous drug for sale, possession of a narcotic drug for sale, possession of drug paraphernalia, conspiracy as to drug sales, use of a wire or electronic communication device in drug-related transactions, misconduct involving weapons, as well as money laundering. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. Now, I have reviewed everything, so we're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates here in a moment. However, counsel for both sides, when I was looking through the probable cause statement, I didn't see any information relating to the wire charge.
Yeah, that I didn't see that either, Judge, but nonetheless, you can find no PC on that, but that wouldn't necessarily dismiss the complaint.
That's my thoughts as well. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something I was missing. And Mr. Santini, do you agree?
I agree with Peter. So I also have another probable cause argument if you'd like me to bring it up now.
Yeah, go for it.
The weapons misconduct, I believe I don't think it's under tampering. I think that's prohibited possessor. It looks like she only has the one felony conviction. So under the new law, at least state rights, her right to possess a weapon should have automatically been granted again. So I think that charge also lacks probable cause if there's no other felony history.
That's a federal prior, Carter.
But what does that matter?
Well, you're the one making the argument, so you can let us know why that wouldn't matter.
Well, because it's one. So it's one felony. Under the law, your state rights are automatically restored once you complete your sentence.
Judge, that's the least concern of the state. So if you want to find no PC on that, that's fine. That's the least of the state's concerns in this complaint about what's going on.
All right, so I have reviewed everything. Creative argument, Mr. Santini, but I am going to find probable cause at this stage. I am going to order that she be held on a we haven't talked about release conditions. So I have reviewed everything, and the state is recommending a $10,000 bond. Mr. Goodman, did you have anything you wish to add?
I would just note the similar prior, and in that, even though it has a little bit of age to it, it is similar in nature, and she was given at least 2 chances on supervision in which she had to be revoked at least twice for that.
Mr. Santini?
Judge, that's over a decade old prior. She's had no other priors since then. She's a 3-3 on the scale, lifelong Tucsonian. She also has verified third-party custody with her mom. And her priors, there's no violence from Miss Roxanne, so I don't believe that she's a danger to the community. If you are inclined to hold her, Judge, we would ask for a more reasonable $1,100 bond given her indigency and the nature of the charges.
All right, based on my review of everything, I am going to order she be held on a $10,000 cash or secured bond. Ma'am, you will be supervised by pretrial services if you post that, and you'll need to comply with any directions they give you. No alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons. I'm also ordering that you not have any contact with the co-defendant in this case. I am setting this for a preliminary hearing on November the 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Ma'am, if you're released from custody, you need to make sure you make your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you're excused.
So I'm not,
Be held here if your attorney can explain what's the charge on, right?
Lopez? So you want to go out the door. Privacy with the females.
And Judge, on that last one, I'm
Yes.
looking at the interim complaint, and that charge was already crossed out. So I don't know why that charge was still remaining if that was the case, if it was crossed out by somebody.
So I actually saw 2 separate misconducts involving weapons charges, and one of them looked like it was during the commission of a felony drug offense. So that's what I was considering. Hello, sir. Can I get your name?
Lopez.
All right, sir. We're seeing you this evening because you've been arrested on some new felony charges. We're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates. Now, you have been charged with possession of a dangerous drug for sale, possession of a narcotic drug for sale, possession of drug paraphernalia, conspiracy, use of a wire during a felony drug offense, as well as misconduct involving weapons, both as a prohibited possessor and using a weapon during a drug offense. You've also been charged with 1 count of money laundering. Now, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing Sarah Wright to represent you. You'll get paperwork with her information on it. Now, counsel, I have the same issue that I had with the previous case with regards to the use of wire. Did either of you wish to be heard on that count any further?
It would be the same position, Judge.
Yeah, that one's written on his IC no PC for wire charge.
Okay, so I am going to find no PC just for that charge. It doesn't affect our ability to go forward. Any other arguments as to probable cause, Mr. Santini?
Not on this one. Thank you for entertaining me last time.
Well, I do love good argument, so. All right, so I have reviewed everything and the state is requesting a $2,500 bond in lieu of a no bond hold. Mr. Goodman, anything further?
That was $25,000,
Sorry, yeah,
Judge, and
2,500.
yeah.
Sorry,
So
25,000, yeah, sorry, it's late.
yeah, no worries. And that's primarily due to the criminal history and being on felony release for two other matters. So the state's recommending that in lieu of a no bond.
Mr. Santini?
Well, certainly better than no bond. I would ask for a more reasonable reduced bond, given that he is a lifelong Tucsonan with third-party custody through his sister, and he does have gainful employment.
All right, sir, I am going to order you be held on a $25,000 cash or secured bond. You will be supervised by pretrial services if you post that, and you'll need to comply with any directions they give you. No alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons. You're not to have any contact with the co-defendant in this case. And I am going to set this for a preliminary hearing on November the 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Now, sir, if you're released from custody, you need to make sure you make your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue. Do you understand? All right, so you're excused. In jail, I just want to make sure we didn't miss something on our end. Do we still have Brandon McCord, or is he getting moved? We do have him? Okay, thank you.
Sounds like.
Hello, can I get your name?
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Omar Salazar.
All right, sir, we are seeing you this evening because you have been charged with, it looks like, 3 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree, as well as 3 counts of felony theft. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We're going to be talking about release conditions here in a moment. However, counsel, I have some concerns with regards to probable cause. Specifically with regards to the burglary counts, I do believe that there is PC for at least one of the theft accounts, assuming that all the amounts are aggregated. But I'm happy to hear arguments on PC. Mr. Goodman?
No, I had a similar assessment, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Santini?
Perhaps I'm missing the argument on burglary, but I would ask that you find no probable cause on burglary. I just don't know how to formulate that argument. I apologize.
Okay, how about this? He's going into a store, the store is apparently open, and he's taking stuff displayed for sale.
Oh, that's not a burglary.
That's not
Thank
a
you.
burglary.
Well, actually, Judge, I know it's not in the interim complaint, but when I look at the hours of that Kohl's in Oro Valley, they open at 9 o'clock. So if he's in there at 7, that wouldn't be during hours that it's open to the public, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does. And that's something that I considered as well. However, as you both know, while I certainly can make the same logical conclusions that any reasonable person could, my hands are a little bit tied. And if it's not actually in the affidavit, then I'm kind of stuck with what I got.
Yeah, that's fine, Judge. I figured it would boil down to the aggregated theft losses for the shoplift theft.
All right, so I am going to decline to find PC as to the burglary counts and 2 counts of the theft charges, but I will find PC for one of the thefts. Now, let's go ahead and talk about release conditions. Now, I have read everything provided. The state is asking for a $5,000 bond with pretrial. Mr. Goodman, did you have anything to add?
And Judge, that recommendation was made within, keeping in mind what we already know. I'm familiar with Mr. Salazar. I'm the supervisor of the STEPS program. He's currently in the STEPS program. He's been in it for almost over a month, and I looked at our staffing spreadsheet today. He is not compliant in the program. So in light of that, that's why the state's also requesting the bond that it is.
Mr. Santini?
So, Judge, I am going to ask for Mr. Salazar's release to pretrial services. I understand Mr. Goodman does have more information on the Steps case than I would, but Mr. Salazar has been connected with Kodak. He has an appointment with tomorrow at 1:30. So he's trying to complete that Steps contract, and he has these dates and times in mind. He doesn't have any priors. And if he were to complete his Steps contract, he would be probation available after trial on this. He does have third-party custody, and he hasn't failed to appear for any of his Steps obligations or any court dates that I have available. So I don't believe that he is a flight risk. So I would ask that he be released to pretrial services.
So, sir, I am going to order that you be held on a $2,500 cash or secured bond. You will be supervised by pretrial services if you post that, and you'll need to comply with any directions they give you. No alcohol, illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons. No contact with the alleged victims or the incident location. And Mr. Goodman, this was a Kohl's, correct?
Yeah, Judge, that's from what I can tell. It was the same. It looks like well, it was more than one. It looks like it was more than one Kohl's, but yes, it should be Kohl's in general.
All right, sir. So I'm also going to order that you not have any contact with any Kohl's stores located in Pima County. Your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on November the 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Now, sir, if you're released from custody, you need to make sure you make your court dates. If you don't, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're excused.
Thank you.
Mr. Goodman and Mr. Santini, all I have left is a city court misdemeanor. So if the two of you would like to hop off, you're free to go.
Oh, thank you, and thank you, Judge. Really appreciate you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good night.
You too. Hello, sir. Can I get your name?
Brandon Lee McCord.
All right, sir, we are seeing you this evening because you have a case pending in Tucson City Court where you failed to appear for court and a warrant was issued for your arrest. So we're going to be talking about your release conditions and next court dates. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have the right to be present for all of your court dates. However, if you don't come to court, then a warrant will issue for your arrest, and those hearings will happen without you. Also, if you are convicted and cannot be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to come to court, then you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Now, I see that you're currently being held on a separate matter. So what I'm going to do in this case is I am going to set a non-transport review hearing for December the 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. That will give your attorney a chance to figure out what's going on with your felony case and then see what they need to do with the city matter. I am going to release you on your promise to appear in this case. As conditions of your release, you are not to go back to the incident location. Now, if you bond out of custody, sir, you need to make sure that you make that court date and all others. If you don't come to court, then a warrant will issue. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Right, sir, you're excused.
Thank you.
All right, jail, pretrial, thank you. I think that's everything we had. Have a good night.